6:30 p.m. This is the zoning bylaw review steering committee. We have everyone in attendance. So today, I think we're just going to focus on the table of use, kind of keep it simple rather than bounce around. Just I guess a little bit of overview. I think most of you, I think all of you were there. The zoning bylaw amendments passed. I think that was probably the least I've ever had to do for any zoning bylaw, so that was pretty nice.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
Good stuff. Didn't have to talk. That's
I think it's a testament to what we're doing. Like, I think people get it. Like, it's not like, you know, like they know that we're spending the time and going through it.
The other part was,
time.
no one showed up at the planning board meetings to ask questions.
It's true.
Really? Well, I was gonna
So
say,
you didn't- if people weren't willing to just come there in private and ask the questions, why would they ask questions before everyone else?
That's true.
but then too, you only had 3 planning board members, and because I asked you,
That's
I think
true.
at the town meeting, I said, you know, how did it go at the planning board? And really not much. Did you have a lot of discussion on anything, or?
No, Pat went, I think we had Pat do a presentation basically.
Yeah.
So,
Kind
Yeah, I
of
think Paul had a few questions, because he was the only one that
He
was
was the only one that
actually- wasn't at these
room.
meetings, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, true, because Jack wasn't there, Katie wasn't there.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so it's good
Might
to
have asked more questions, but, yeah.
So it's good to get that that phase done and kind of turn focus on this. And so I know this is the this is kind of the big section, so to speak. So I took a look and sent out a copy of just some of my comments, edits. Happy to kind of go
Comments in
through.
The attachment?
Not that one, no.
Oh, there's
Uh,
another,
yeah.
The attachment, yes, it's in the attachment, but the one I printed out for you is just a clean copy.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't notice your comments.
I didn't.
Yeah,
You know what, I said that to him in the hallway, I said, I didn't get the comments, I didn't.
Yeah, I
know where
looked
they
through
were.
it,
Yeah, I was
waiting to
looking for
see
like.
like
Track
where are
changes.
the,
Did you
where are the
open
changes?
You gotta show all the track changes, was that?
I don't know. I just opened it
There
from
was
the
only
email.
one-
Maybe I
there was only
didn't
one-
open it,
there
save
There
it
was
in
only one
Word.
attachment.
Was it like this, where it was, or is it,
It just looked like a
simple
regular.
mock-up?
Because I know on my home computer, if I don't put the cursor over, say, one of the
Yeah, it
points,
looked basically.
the
just
little
like
note
that.
won't come up.
Oh.
It's
There
kind
weren't
of,
any comments on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that on my
Comments over to the
computer.
right?
Yeah,
No.
it's-
Yeah, the comments right don't come up on my home computer. I have to put my
No.
cursor over where you've written a comment,
Yeah.
then it'll pop up.
Weird.
Did you get them, John?
I
you
did,
get-
yeah.
You got the comments?
Yeah.
How did you get them? I didn't.
He's got a fancier computer.
Apparently.
I got this cheap little tablet.
Yeah. Actually, they don't come up on, when I use my tablet, they don't come up because it doesn't open it in, did it open it in Word or did it open it in like just a view?
I don't know what the heck.
Oh, that-
Whatever
Because it was a Word
it wasn't, I
Yeah,
touched it,
did
I
it,
think it was
yeah.
Word, wasn't it?
Yeah. It might have been why if you open it on the tablet.
Oh, maybe.
Well, I'll
The
check, I'll check
tablet,
again.
the
No.
laptop I had, I don't think it has Word on it, so it doesn't like opening Word documents.
Yeah.
I'd have to try it with another computer.
So I think it's just easy just to kind of start with going through the top of public, semi-public, institutional. Most of this, as you all know, is kind of dictated by chapter 48, section 3, and what's protected use. But the comments I had were really, you know, and like I noticed like nurse's school or other agency for the daycare of children. My comment was really, you know, we have it broken down into small and the large. However, the footnote is the same. It basically defaults to needing limited site plan review. I mean, keeping the definition for both is fine, but breaking it down is just an example of, we don't need to go through that explanation because it's self-explanatory. And I would just leave footnote 3 if that's helpful.
Well, wasn't that,
Is that distinction statutory at all?
So the distinction, I think, has to do with size, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. But like, do we set it or does the state set it in some weird way?
State
it's had
setting.
to
The
do
state
with the
sets it.
size.
Yeah, so you can break it up to a home daycare where, as a home, you can get up to 6 kids.
Got it.
And then once you start getting above that, you can still have it in your house,
It's not
but
in
then the
this
state come into it more.
one? Okay,
Because you're going over 6, more of a home, it is obviously a home business either way, but the state come into play then with licensing inspections more than what we would do.
Got it.
Probably keys, but closer to having the ratio too of
Teachers
student to a
yeah.
teacher, right?
And then it also plays into, because again, up to 5 you get away with more, because the trigger for, say like a daycare during the day, if you're under 2 years, 9 months, it's considered institutional.
Footnotes.
So-
Over 2 years, 9 months is just kids, so it's
Mine is
education
just on
use.
the bottom.
So footnotes is
Yeah.
here, so this is just kind of where I was saying, footnote 3, I mean, it's kind of hard to read, but small, large daycare in the home facility shall be subject to limited site plan review in accordance with section 13 of the zoning bylaw, as well as other applicable local, state, and federal codes and regulations. So, again, this isn't more of a ticky-tack comment by me, or I just say, I don't think you need to have the wasted space of dividing small and large, if the definition already says small and large.
Even on one line, you could say small or large, on one line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, small or large are just,
The only question I have would be whether by state law, a large family daycare requires any sort of facilities that aren't allowed in any of the different kinds of zones.
No, so daycares are literally bulletproof.
yeah.
They can go any zone, you
Okay.
cannot, you definitely don't want to touch them because you would. Because we were talking about today, I think the only thing I've looked into this past year was,
Yep.
but don't use, I agree with this, to Sarah's point, put the small and large together,
Yeah.
because I only think that footnote 3 is for, because it's the in-home daycares. Because the main line is nurseries or schools or agencies of a daycare for children. That kind of incorporates the commercial one, like the one on South Street, the one on North Street that
What
are.
would you say, so wouldn't section 13 though take over when it comes to the size of the daycare?
Not on the smaller ones,
Yeah.
and so the small and in large ones, that's why it says in parentheses, I looked through today, in the home,
Mhm.
is because full site plan doesn't apply to them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I think that's why but to combine them to lose one line would be fine. I think that's Sarah's point. Put
Okay.
small
So-
slash large.
Kind of my
So-
reasoning with this though is, again, I'm looking at other towns, our over explanation, I think, is kind of redundant when we add it in the definition. And that's kind of where I'm, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna bring up Westwood, and then I'll bring up kind of Mansfield as an example. Of course, this doesn't want me to open it. Maybe. I don't want to spend too much time just focusing on this, but that was just basically one of my comments, is looking at other towns. I mean, finding a way to obviously summarize it within the use table by having the additional the additional regulations placed within its own subsection. So instead of have everything kind of like, you know, over-explanatory of the use table, it basically would say default to see section 5C3 or something like that, and then that would have the additional use regulation for that use. So you don't.
So I think, the only reason, that's what I said, the only reason I can
Yeah.
think, I don't know why it's in 2 lines, as Sarah said, you can put them together in one. The limited site plan goes to in-home.
Yep.
That's a town specific, because if you didn't have that limited site plan there, if you open the daycare in a single family home, there is no requirement for a site plan, it'd just be a 110 inspection. So I think that's why they put it
So,
extra to the nurse daycare. The daycare itself is the commercial entity, and the in-home one, we want the limited site plan, because they usually look at how many kids are in the house, drop off, like how
Yeah.
traffic's going to be affected, are going to be people parking there on the street, take kids in, leaving their car. So that's what we look at as a small, so I'm guessing that, because after today we talked, I looked into it. That's the only reason I'd see they put the small and family and the large, because in-home would require limited.
I still go back to, like, if you put the footnote of explaining what it is, small and large family daycare, defaults to limited site plan review, and explains how, I'm just,
So where would a nursery school not in the home, like where is that? Does that just fall under educational use?
No,
I'm just wondering, why
Yeah.
are there 2 options, like maybe
Well-
actual business?
what I'm saying is the
Yeah.
nursery school agency is the commercial side of it. and then the small and large in-home.
So, but on our use table is what I mean. Where is it
Yeah, that's,
specifically called out at all, or no?
I guess that's what I'm thinking, when I see this, are we defaulting to just small family daycare, large family daycare as an in-home? Or do we have that separate, if the nursery school or other agency, that could be what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Um,
like maybe 2 lines would make sense there,
yeah, you could do,
I guess.
you know,
Or
at home.
is the for-profit lumped under the educational uses?
Well, so thing with nurseries fall under 2 categories, educational and institutional.
Yeah,
So that's where it won't be educational to a degree. So that's why I think that, I'm guessing that's why they done it the way they did, was the nursery, school or other agency is the commercial side, which to your point is a standalone.
yeah,
And then the small in-home and the large in-home, you could combine that into one, because if you start up a small in-home or even a large in-home, you get an inspection from the building department side, and that's it. With this footnote here, it says that even if you start a small one, the town get to do a limited site plan of it. So,
mhm.
So in other words, when I look at this, the nursery school is allowed in all areas of town.
yes.
But each one of these still has to go through a limited site plan. So it's just a little confusing where it doesn't have any letters like the A's, special permit or anything across underneath the large
Because
and
the
the small, you know how it's
top line
just
is
blank,
A
the line
everywhere.
Well,
goes
yeah,
across.
it's black, like, I'm guessing again, I can only guess what they did it right, because recently, there is no special permit, you can't.
But do we need to go through the explanation? So you mentioned like the state law dictate when small daycare does not need any sort of site plan, or is that our own local?
No, it's always, so our local is
Yeah.
why that footnote 3 is there, that's why I'm thinking to put
Yeah.
small and large in, because if I was to open a daycare with 5 kids,
Mhm.
there's nothing in state law that says I have to do a limited site plan. I just apply for my license, building department will do an inspection, the state will do an inspection, and you get approved.
So how about under F, if you just put the small and large nursery school and other agencies of daycare, and just put them all in one line, and then just put your 3 at the end, and then the A across. That way there you would know right away, right?
Well, not really, because if you put them all under one line, then someone will see that large nursery or daycare could go for a limited site plan, which it doesn't, it goes for a full site plan.
The large one has to go for the large?
No, so if you're saying combine them all into one line,
Yeah,
so if you combine them all into one line where you put the commercial and the residential together with the footnote or
Oh.
3 at the end, then that's saying that all of them are only limited site plan, which
well,
is,
I'm not
But
saying
that's,
commercial, I'm
that's
just
not
That's
saying.
clear
not
in
like
the use
clear,
table.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if that's what maybe we should add, like the large,
Mhm.
or
The
like not large, but the
commercial,
institutional, or
commercial.
however, whatever the appropriate word is.
well, commercial automatic, because
Should we
Again,
say
this is-
large and small and large at-home family
Yeah, in-home,
daycare?
that's what I
I
meant.
mean, they have it in it already, but I mean, do we, I guess it's,
Put those 3
Fewer.
lines into one, and then just have your 3 at the end, right? Because this isn't, large isn't commercial if it's in-home, correct?
well, no, if you can do in home, you could get up to 20 kids.
Okay.
It all depends on how you go about it, because you can build up that way. And that's usually what happens, is usually small daycares start out with 5 or 6 and then they morph as you go along. But you're still using your residential home as
Okay.
where, like the one up on 109.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
And
draw a blank.
NGC or
Yeah,
something
that
like
one.
that.
You have the North Street one, which is a standalone building, that
Yeah.
goes for a full site plan. But both are protected, there is no special permit, there is no other way of
Right.
going. I'd rather clear it up that the nursery school or other agencies, that's going, because if we had to say small or large on the end of that, and
Mhm.
put in-home parentheses and 3,
Mhm.
is that distinguishing commercial from residential all in one line, or is it better off leaving it in 2 lines? Leave the nursery where it is and just combine the large and small together to one line.
Right, that's what I'm saying, that's what I thought I said, all I meant was small and large, in-home, nursery schools.
Yeah.
For daycare of children, and then just have that all in one line, and just have the 3 of the
Yeah.
parentheses
Yeah,
there.
and then the
And
next
then
line.
and it wouldn't be confusing, and then you would have the commercial
I
standalone
think so.
in a separate line, right?
Yeah.
And that would
makes sense
take
to
the
me.
full site plan, right?
Listed out separately.
Because right now, I'm trying to scan the limited site plan, if it mentions anything
It
about,
doesn't,
it
and
doesn't.
that's like,
I don't
that's
see
what's
how-
from a 13.
It's one of
Yeah.
these things, it's kind of
Definitions, I'm
like,
not seeing anything there.
The definitions,
Yeah.
it should be under,
so.
Well, I'm saying
then-
large family and I'm saying small family, but I don't see any reference to limited site plan in the definition.
no, it's
No, it
only in
won't
the
be site
footnote.
plan, because small and large do not require site plan. It's specific to Walpole to do a limited, so it's very similar to, again, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Just with
But that's
the
not-
building, yeah.
Hmm?
It's not in the definition. right?
No, it's not in definitions, it's just been like that with your footnote that if we're doing a small, so if you do a 5-kid daycare and you apply for your license to the town, normally you do what's called a 110 inspection. But Walpole has put a footnote that you'll also get a limited site plan from fire and police and building just to look at it. It's very similar to like the limited site plan for outdoor dining. That's there as well, that's not really in site plan, but we still do a limited site plan review on it just for where the seats going outside will impact driving, how can the fire department access the building. So we do a quick review with them in it, so it's kind of like, it's specific to, unique just to Walpole. Like I've been in towns where if you do a small daycare, you just give them the license and you check the building out, give them the license, they go. There is no site plan,
Yeah.
or limited site plan, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
know.
what if, we wouldn't have to, if we put in the commercial, we would have to change the letters here or put it at the end, correct?
I would leave it in here, it's still,
Huh?
I mean,
Because we don't have a line for that now, right?
For the commercial?
Yeah.
Well, no, commercial was there then,
Where is it?
so the commercial is F. Nursery
Well,
schools or other agencies
Yeah,
of
but
daycare.
this is all F.I. and F.I.I.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're both listed as in home, nothing's being spoken about
Well-
a commercial.
unless you make that, so, I don't know if you really need to stay commercial on F, but if you made, instead of the
Well,
I, you made it.
standalone,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, because the nursery, the way it's written, the nursery school or agencies for daycare of children is set for, the intent is commercial
So
building.
I should be maybe just standalone,
G.
independent.
How about if you just put the line and say nursery school and, or other agency for daycare of children, you just let that in there. And then on your line I,
Yep.
you could have small and large in-home daycare, and then on double I, you could have commercial standalone. And that way they
Yeah,
wouldn't have to
something of
change,
that
we wouldn't
nature,
have
yeah.
to change the letters
Yeah,
on the side or
something
at
in
it.
that idea.
right?
yeah.
So just on the nursery school up above, we could leave that line blank, right? And then fill in where it's allowed. Where would the commercial ones be allowed? Anywhere? Are they allowed?
All daycares are allowed anywhere,
Yeah.
even in-home daycares, or even if you're, as long as you've got a residential home, even in a non-conforming area, daycares are,
Okay, so you could still leave that line like that with all the
Yeah, that's right.
allowed, right? And then down
Yeah,
below,
wanna
you would just
say
have,
standalone structure or something, standalone building,
No, it's not a track machine, just some.
And then the
Oh, it's not
note,
that.
Jim, we could either adjust the note to include the commercial, or just say.
no, you wouldn't include
we-
commercial, because commercial doesn't go to limited, it goes straight full site plan.
Oh, it does go full?
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe we need an additional
Yeah.
note.
Well, no, that's,
I don't think you need that
You
note.
don't
so
need it?
this is again where it gets that crossover between what our zoning is
Mhm.
and what Mass Section 3 is under Dover Amendment. So
Okay.
that's where, because like I said, Dover with agricultural, certain things, and certain daycares, you can even do a daycare where you might have main residence here, put a daycare at the back. The Teddy case, and there's a few cases that said they don't even need a site plan to do that one, because there's already existing building there.
Mm.
So it's different factors change which road you go down.
Okay, what about just philosophically, do you like that the note is where it refers people to a limited site plan, or is there another place that it should be?
No, that's fine where,
That's okay.
we've known, because
Okay.
usually, again, when someone applies for, say, even a home daycare, even though the state rubber stamp, a lot of them, we've had the issues with the state, they still have to come to the town to register it under, because we do, again, we'll do a yearly inspection of the facilities,
Yeah,
even including the home ones, and they get a license from the town.
So small family and large family at home daycare.
Mhm.
And I would just recommend, I mean, this is my opinion, I think it should become the new G and then all the letters should shift rather than becoming FI. I don't
Well,
know.
I think you have FI and FII. One of the Is is the small or large in-home, and the other one is,
Yeah, no, we
something
mentioned
was-
combining it into one, we just.
well, they're both F, but one's FI and one's FII.
Yeah, I guess it's just its opinion, my opinion, I would rather just have it be
Combine the
G.
two together and get rid of one line.
No,
Or
you
go
combine
to
the two
G.
together, but move it to G instead of having it be FI. I'd like to try to remove all
Yeah,
these
you don't want to
subcategories.
standalone. Well, you still have the two subcategories. One of the subcategories is in-home, and the other one is the standalone.
Yeah,
Separate.
Which is okay.
Because the separate one is requiring
Yeah.
site plan, the other one's.
Yeah,
So
I-
you had the FI the way it is there now, and then on the next line, you would have, how would you word it, the standalone daycare?
Well, so standalone daycare is basically commercial daycare, so it falls back into under nurseries daycare, because, so one is, so that's the whole intent of in-home, has its own category at state level.
Right, so that would be what we
That would
have.
still
Well,
be
that's
covered.
what we're doing.
That's
That would still be covered under F.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
FI.
still under F, only we're now calling it FII first.
Well, no, so
No.
if you say our standalone daycare as, say, F2,
Double
say,
I.
double I,
Yeah.
F2, saying standalone daycare is what F is, so you're repeating yourself. It's like saying you drive a car, but John drives a three-wheel car. You're still saying the exact same thing, it's still a car.
Right, but we're putting that
We're
in
saying
there,
it's two
but then
different things.
we're just telling that one is a limited site plan and then the other would be a full site plan, correct?
Well, that's what F says, so
Well,
F says
You're
no.
saying one's an in-home,
Yes.
one's a.
Guys, I think it works the way it's written.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all talking about the same thing. So
Yeah.
nursery school and other at-home agency is F, that's the same thing covering commercial. If we
Standalone,
keep the
everything.
I, yeah, that's just separating the small family and large family, because those are defined terms that would go to Jim, hypothetically,
Yeah.
for limited site plan review. My only thing about getting away of these, like, so we have table FB 1,
Right.
A, I.
Yeah.
A lot of, I mean, not
There's a
that,
lot of subs.
every town's different, but you look around, no one has all these subcategories within categories. They kind of separate it into their own items, so
Yeah.
my recommendation would be to try to eliminate those whenever possible and just make that G and then just correct the lettering. Because I mean,
Well,
eventually we're gonna change all we're all gonna change the formatting eventually.
If you're
but I
gonna
mean,
do that, you just leave it all as one F. Nursery school or other agency for the daycare of children, including small and large family in-home or whatever, however.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Including small and large family daycare in the home.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
excuse
you're making
me.
that all one description as a F.
So where is it telling us that the standalone needs a full site plan?
Based upon the size of it. So
What
we
is
would
it?
similar
So
to
what
is it- what is
we
it
don't
telling
need
you?
to have, we
Where
don't,
is it?
That's where you got the, it's that type of thing, that's under section 48, section 3. That's where it states it in that, so you're under the state law. So that's what we're all saying is, sometimes we put stuff in here that's backed up by our general bylaws, by say the NFPA codes, by the building code. So if we took everything and put it in here, you honestly need a wheelbarrow to carry your zoning book around. So that's why you defer, that's why some of like the things like say on B, it just says, which is protected under Mass General Law 48 section 3. It's citing you to this, so if full daycare comes in, we know we're going to section 3 of the state law. Same with like say doing agricultural. We have agriculture in this use table. It doesn't tell you, because we go down, not to jump around, but later on you'll see it. Our agriculture goes under 2 acres, between 2 to 5 acres, and then 5 acres plus. You only get tax exemptions and all the relief really in the power in agricultural when you go to 5 to 10 acres. The 2 and 5 is specific to Walpole. We kind of make it our little home thing as well. So if you have a 2 acre farm, you don't get a tax exemption. You're still paying, unfortunately, the full belt of taxes. If you had a 5 acre farm, you can register that land as agricultural and get your tax relief. That's just a combination of state law mixing in and Mass General Law mixing in with their zoning laws. So it kind of doesn't spell it out there, but we're meant to know it. That's where,
Okay.
when people come into us as an enforcement agent, we, touch wood, should get it right.
So then we can put all the language that we want in that, right in F, and then get rid of both I and double I, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that.
right? Then you would be getting, you know what I'm saying? So
If
you
we-
just
if we
could put
do
the
it-
small and large, in-home, nursery school or other agency for the daycare of children, and then put your 3 parentheses there and get rid of the next 2 lines. I and
Yeah, as I
double I.
say, that's what I say, lump it all
Just
into
put it all in
just
one.
F.
If you
So
don't
how
like
would- how
all
would
the,
that
you
be?
don't like all the sub,
I know.
do you have enough room to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have other lines that have multiple sentences
Right.
on them. so
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not that much.
The nurse school or other home agency.
Small and large family daycare,
Including,
in-home,
yeah, as well
nursery
as-
school, or, well, you're repeating daycare that way there.
If you did it the way that you were talking about, Pat, have you done a search, like, are there other sections that, like, reference the
Small or
following
large?
ones that, no, even
Oh,
just if
like
you,
the F, I.
K, L, M, and anything that we need to correct?
I mean, for all of it, no. I mean, if we're moving it on to F, I guess that kind of solves the issue for
Yeah.
this section.
But if you make a new one, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, then you would need to double check with everything.
Yeah.
Daycare.
I don't think so. The only one I'm not sure is P. The-
P?
Yeah, like if that's,
You can put your
that's
little 3 in
referenced
there.
anywhere.
Gotta
but
remember how to do that. Let's go.
Reference anywhere else in the.
In the bylaw, like I'm just saying if, like Pat was saying, create a new line.
Yeah.
And then so
I get that.
then
Reference right there somewhere else.
J will be K and K will be
And it'll
L.
come back and bite us.
Yeah.
Capital B dogs.
There we go. I'm okay with either way.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the first
Yeah.
one, and it's 7. So, I mean, I don't want to get into like a thing for each one. I mean, I'd like to hear if anyone else went through this and has any comments, but mine are really just, I guess, points for conversation.
Actually, well, we're right there too, is
Okay.
that on D with the private, for-profit
Yep.
school, is that something that does not fall under Mass General Law 40? Should we put that in there? You know how above there you have it, that is
Yeah, it's
protected
different.
Yeah, it's
under
different.
Mass General Law? And this one here, should we say that does not fall under?
I don't think we need to, because it's
No.
kind of, so if it's not,
The very fact that
Yeah.
it's being set up differently, I think,
Yeah.
kind of points,
Good.
but.
yeah. Because the other one says those that fall under 3.
Fall under, but this
and-
one doesn't. I don't know if somebody read it and, okay,
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, okay. I'm trying to think, what would be an example of that?
Of which?
Private for-profit school.
League.
Noble.
Like a league school would be?
League school, I think that's a non-profit, I believe that's a non-profit.
Or Russian school of math,
I
right?
don't think
Yeah.
they consider
We have,
that.
we have multiple schools in town, we have that, the Rush School of Math, the the Bi-County, the Tech School,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they're for profit, but,
Aggie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Again, that's cool.
So and that's what you're mixing between private schools, which are still protected, public schools, non-profit. So you're protected, they're all protected in one or different ways. And that's what the majority of things in this first section are there.
Yeah.
Besides the
Public
heli-
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
besides the heliport,
Yeah, the heliport one,
is not protected.
we talked about that, but like,
Should that be in another category?
that's what I initially thought. I wasn't, so, I'm sure there's a history of why this here is here, right? So the one below that heliport for emergency hospital or police use, but not for commercial use, that would be like a medevac.
Yeah, which we have
right up
outside.
there. And we talked about this, heliport as it's listed right here,
Is private individual.
Yeah.
private individual, but would that fall under public, semi-public institutional, or would that be more of like a accessory residential use?
More than a commercial use.
Or
isn't
it could be.
Could be residential. I've dealt with them before,
Or just
just
an-
residential.
Really?
use.
What about just an accessory use?
I mean, how do we treat airports? Do we not?
We don't-
Well, airports would be.
I don't think
We don't
we get
like
an airport
no
anytime
stinking
soon.
airport here.
That's
If we have to worry about that
Not
one, I'm
Norway.
okay with that. It could be a problem
Yeah.
if someone wants to
airport's a
open
whole,
an
a heliport and an airport are two complete different classes.
Sure, yeah.
So that's where it gets
Yeah.
tricky too. So like the medvac offices, we know lands in the middle of town. The heliport itself is for residential, is busy for your own private. Because once you put heliport for, I looked a bit more into
Yeah.
it, once you put heliport in for, even for emergency use,
Mhm.
you have to bring heliport in for private use.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, just to cover yourself.
Okay.
So that's why it was put in there.
Yes, the state would do it for the
So I don't even know what the base will say. I mean, this is almost, it's an accessory use hypothetically for either residential or commercial,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And so this list currently contains
I
primary and
suppose
accessory
eventually
uses
down the
together.
line,
Correct.
people will be
Yeah.
running.
And I think would be-
All right, what are you thinking, to have a different table, accessory use?
I would, I
You
think
like
most
that?
towns I've seen set up, it
Yes.
doesn't need, a separate accessory.
I mean, I
use.
noticed what you sent, there was a couple, I don't remember if it was all of them, but yeah.
Not all of them. I know Carolyn had mentioned it, and then in her document, it's kind of clunky to read.
Okay.
But I've seen it set up, and I think that would be the way to go for some of
Okay.
these,
Yeah.
because it just helps to kind of clear out what's, you know.
Agree.
What's primary and what's accessory?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any regulations for the heliports in the state, anything size-wise, clearances and everything?
Yeah, so size-wise, it just depends on it's usually like a 20, 30 foot radius around the helipad, and then it's 150 foot of clearance that you can't have anything that could get basically sucked into it. So any cars or anything, so like we kind of fall into when it lands on the baseball field, there's obviously cars parked, but when it's getting responded, the police come out with the fire, they'll block off that area so nobody can go within that 150 feet for the medivac. With residential, slight bit different. I guess, and then again, I'm going to guess that's why in our zoning, the only place residential you can do it is a special permit in rural, because you need that acre, you're going to have plenty of land for that thing to land without driving your neighbours insane. I don't believe we even have any yet, unless you were getting one put in Ed for your retirement.
So back, I guess, jumping back to, I had a question on J. So any use of a government agency not specifically set forth herein, it's all by special permit, but it's kind of open-ended in what that means entirely. So any use of a government agency not specifically set forth therein, but what if it's an essential government function? It's protected.
So yeah, if
The fields.
it's a government function, it falls under Dover, it's
Okay.
protected. I'm guessing with government agencies here, not specific set for him, like you could list, like each town could list like water towers.
Yeah.
They could have a storage yard for equipment or something, like besides the DPW yard.
Mhm.
So it's something that each town could have, something specific to their town that's still a government agency,
Yeah.
but might be a fully government function. So like that's kind of where that's one of the things that the what's it called? The Aggie went for with the solar.
Yeah.
They claimed it was a government function of theirs,
Mhm.
and the courts, we said it wasn't. The courts agreed with us it wasn't because they're not into solar. The Norfolk County doesn't run solar plants, so things like that. It's just it's something unique to the town has,
Yeah.
but it's not labelled here. So like there's nowhere here. I'm missing as usual.
You
I
wanna
think
get
they
rid of
basically
it,
have
Pat,
it
No.
or-
worded this way, just
I
to
think we
say,
should keep
Text
it.
okay,
town.
this is good for the town,
Yeah.
you've shown it's good for the town,
Yeah.
we're saying it's okay now. We're not specifying it, because we're gonna look at it on a one,
Okay.
Case
So
by
case
one
basis.
on.
Yeah.
It's allowing the town to put something in without saying, no, you can't do that.
Got
But
it.
we're saying you can do it, but we wanna see it first, basically. And I
Alright.
think that might be the explanation why it's set up that way.
Okay. All right. I don't have a problem with that then. I'll delete my comment. All right. Next to, I guess, K and I. This is actually, well, next 30 really. So K. So private club, association, or lodge. This is more just a comment. But I mean, the quote in parentheses, but not including any use, the chief activity of which is one customarily conducted as a business. I guess I didn't know if there's an easier way to state that.
There should be different wording.
Mine, I just said, shall not include any business use associated with a for-profit business. I don't know if that covers it or not, but, or is, I mean, there might be an easier way to say it, I just thought it's,
Well, you're thinking of like the Knights of Columbus and the
Yeah.
Italian American
Yeah.
Club or whatever, but I know at times they rent out the hall, so they are getting
yeah.
money in, so it's, in a way it is, well, they aren't.
It wouldn't be the
making money
primary
on it,
use.
but
Yeah.
It's more of a contribution, I suppose.
Yeah, I think if you reword it, it would be
Just,
better.
just something to be,
Yeah,
Any use the chief activity.
So you could actually run a business out of one of them as long as it's not the chief activity.
whatever that, yeah.
So define that one.
Wasn't there
chief
the,
activity,
like a nunnery in like Rentham that like made chocolates or toffee or
Yes.
something like that?
yeah.
So that's, I guess,
Yeah.
somewhat of an example, although that would be protected.
Oh, the one down in, I don't know what they did.
I know.
They make good chocolate.
You know all the chocolate places
Yeah,
around here.
that's my downfall.
So yeah, I mean, we could, like, I'll put a pen in
Yeah,
there, we
it
don't need to
might
think
be
of it right
some-
now, but,
Um,
so the next two, any commercial recreational uses which go on after dusk or before dawn, such as a skate park, tennis courts, etc. And then the one underneath that, any commercial and recreational uses that do not go on after dusk or before dawn, such as a boat, canoe, livery, riding academy, stable, ski grounds. I guess, one, I don't know if this belongs in public, semi-public institutional, or not, just because it's again, it's classifying it as a commercial recreational use.
Mhm.
Mm.
And,
Yeah,
you know, if I'm right, if you're
By the
right,
very description, it's going against the word, idea of public.
yeah,
Well, it is for the public, but it's
So that's why I
not a municipal.
Yeah,
use. Yeah.
Well, I think that's why, because the reason the reason I think they're in there is because it's public or semi-public. So like picnic grounds, that's probably going to be more with the town, with the town guy. Ski grounds, 50-50, skate parks, tennis courts. Again, it's going to be, like, we could have tennis courts out here that's public, open to the public. So that's why I think it's in there to fall into semi-public.
So why are they calling it commercial?
So, say for example, what about a miniature golf course?
So again,
That's a for profit.
that's for prop, they're
Yeah,
usually
that's- you
I
think-
don't know, like even bring it up to not so much miniature golf, go to a golf course. So miniature golf is usually 9 times out of 10 is a private entity. I don't, not that I know, but I
Right.
can't think of any towns out of my head that own the miniature golf course for a town. Golf courses, yeah, some towns own them, some towns don't. Tennis courts, golf courts, right now pickleball is taking off mad. Some towns have them, some towns, like we have, think of our fields, we have pickleball courts up there. That's why I think that's why that's in there,
Or
it's
down on
semi-public, yeah.
Really?
They've got pickleball courts in there on the they've done basketball and pickle together.
so that's, I guess that makes sense, but what about the, you know, the whole time frame? So which go on after dusk or before dawn?
Well, I think that's probably
For
more
the nuisance.
affect
Yeah.
in residential. You don't want
Yeah,
someone playing pickleball at midnight next door.
Yeah, that's, because that's one that there's like,
or even like 8, 9 at night.
and
Yeah.
there's actually been a good few lawsuits already over
But these
the
people that
neighbor
live
playing
next to them, oh
pickleball, and you
yeah.
hear that
Bang,
bang, bang,
bang,
bang, bang.
Yeah.
So, but why, I don't know,
Well, those are, so the whole uses that I guess go on after dusk, they're not allowed in residential districts anyway.
Well, by special permit,
Well,
some of
yeah,
that stuff.
that's
Well,
Oh,
they're not
Oh.
going after dusk.
Yeah.
or
Not
before
pure
dawn, but still,
residential
that's
districts.
a wide area, but, yeah.
But that's why I think we should keep separating it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind separating.
Yeah, there's a difference between the time period, that's why they have the two, I think.
Like honestly,
But the wording of it is,
like honestly, some of the things I think it doesn't affect us that much, because honestly, since I've been here, it hasn't come up, but it can come up, but very rarely, and if it doesn't really fit, and it kind of is self-explanatory, just leave it. Sometimes not touching is better than.
well, there are no ski grounds in Walpole, it's flat.
Well,
so,
You never
so
know.
why
We
don't
don't
we
have a
have,
beach.
could be
Well, actually-
cross-country.
We did have one up at
Is there
Jarvis
a
Farm.
beach? Huh?
We did have one at Jarvis Farm with a little beach.
Oh, yeah.
No,
That was
And,
closed in the dark.
Theory.
I suppose there could be something up at, What's the one up in North Walpole?
Walden,
Which
no,
No,
Willet.
Willet.
Will it, yeah.
Some of that.
Some of that has beaches, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have the club off of is it the
That little bridge.
hunting club on
Yeah.
Brook Lane? Is that
Yes.
Brook
Yeah,
Lane?
Brook Lane.
They have a little beach thing front there.
But is that in Walpole or?
Yeah, that's what, yeah, it's right on the line.
It's right on the edge.
We did
yeah.
our yearly inspection there.
Well, maybe that one too, Pat, if
Yeah.
you can, like, word it better.
Maybe it was a wording issue, yeah.
Where is that?
I don't know,
Sorry.
just the ones that
Oh.
you're talking about, that do
Yeah.
not go on after, like, I don't know, maybe there's a better way to word that? I don't know.
Could you set
It
hours?
does seem kind of like old timey.
Yeah.
It goes on after dusk. Yeah, I guess you don't
Draw
want to.
your horses in a
Yeah.
carriage and,
Yeah, it might be
Forgot about the livery.
efficient with
Yeah.
the time, commercial times and.
Yeah, maybe there's a easier way.
I think anytime we use the approximate dust on, someone's gonna find a way to weasel around it if we don't specify a
Yeah.
particular time.
I also wonder too, so I mean, if we have any commercial recreational uses, I know there is a section in business. Let's see if we can go get there really quick. Not to bounce around, but just cause if you were to remove it and just say commercial recreational uses on after dusk or on after dawn, and remove the explanation. I believe so.
So L&M
Indoor
actually
entertainment.
list commercial recreational uses as different,
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
uses.
So, yeah, commercial, so say tennis court, commercial tennis court,
Yeah,
and if you have a tennis court at your house, are two complete different entities. So residential recreational is very well protected as
okay, but
well.
what I'm saying, L&M, they both say any commercial recreational
Mhm.
use, but they list different activities. The only difference is,
Right.
daytime and one that's
Yeah.
around the
Something
clock.
that's allowed.
they're giving
So,
like a for
But
example.
they list different
Right, yeah.
activities in there, and I think we should have the same activity, shouldn't we? On both?
Maybe.
Because you could read that differently when you look at it, you know what I'm saying?
True, cause in some of these things you don't normally have them after dark, but they can be done.
Like
after
which
dark
one?
With a light display, like the ski companies that all do everything at night.
So outdoor commercial amusement
States.
is what I was thinking of, what's in the business section. I'm not, just in terms of the wording, right, outdoor commercial amusement, it gives some examples. And then we have, how do they word it here, in L&M, it was any commercial recreational uses, so outdoor recreational amusement, any commercial recreational uses, but do we actually define it in our definitions?
You're looking at outdoor commercial amusement?
Yeah,
Okay.
so outdoor commercial, okay, so we have a defined outdoor commercial amusement use, and the other one was recreational, how does it
Mhm.
Commercial
recreational use.
Commercial recreational use.
But these do not say indoor, outdoor though, right?
No,
True, but most of the things listed, yes. you
And
could put a
everything-
tennis court
And everything I see
indoors,
here, you could do
but
night or
it's-
day, right?
inside and out.
You don't use a boat or canoe at night typically.
you
Riding,
could.
again, riding is kind of a daylight type activity typically.
Well, if you have stable, like
Picnic, again.
North Street has an indoor stable that they do
Beach
riding
stable.
lessons inside. So that's the thing, you could do stable horse riding inside there because people have the,
Yeah, they have to be there.
like training young kids with horses, usually like controlled inside. I think the reason, and to Patrick's, what Patrick's looking up on,
So I guess what my point of doing this is, we don't define it other than how we don't define commercial recreational use other than how it's stated here,
Mm-hmm.
whereas we define outdoor amusement use. And I think why that matters is because it's like, so your options are limited to what is stated here unless
well,
there's
so-
et cetera.
So,
I mean-
commercial recreation and commercial, an arcade, like, or,
Well, the outdoor, so I guess I'm saying the outdoor
Outdoor
amusement
amusement.
is defined in our definition.
yeah, because it's more or less a business, that's
Yeah.
an entity. This, again, that's why I think it's in here semi-public.
Yeah.
A lot of these can and has been run by towns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And it's
like
not more-
skateboard parks are typically a high school.
Yeah.
Exactly,
area or
yeah.
something,
So,
yeah.
but, you don't-
Junior high or
with,
someplace with.
The amusements, it's usually
Tennis courts.
baseball,
Yeah.
and go-karts.
I guess what I'm getting at is when we have all these definitions in here, and granted we have like the whole et cetera at the end, but that leaves it open-ended.
That, I know,
Whereas if
that's
we
not
had
much
just
good, yeah.
commercial recreational uses, you know,
And then
after
kind of
dusk.
before dark and then
After
after
dark,
dark, right.
and then we define commercial recreational use in the definition.
In the
and-
definition, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, so
Yeah.
you
But
would
if that's
just stop at, after dusk or before dawn, and then you would just scratch out such
Yeah.
to the end, and then have that into the definitions, right?
Yeah, that's, I'll make a note for it just
You
because
don't
I
have to
don't,
put in recreational,
Yeah.
uses, right? Commercial recreational uses, and then list some stuff underneath that, right?
Yeah.
or if there is
Well,
a,
would we wanna give more leeway to a municipal one, like the tennis courts at the high school?
Yeah.
The
Like they stay-
tennis one, so
Yeah.
used to have the backboard where you could hit against the
Yeah,
back.
they've like up the, again, up the fields, they have the pickleball, they have the lacrosse wall up there. Those lights stay on till late at night for kids
Yeah.
to be able to go up there and play. Like, granted, that field up there is well away from houses, so it's not.
yeah, and I mean,
So
it's-
do we say any semi-public or commercial, or no? You don't wanna say that?
No, because again, it,
I think the
Like,
primary
like you
thing,
said, by putting it
here
in
is the
semi-public,
time
public institution, so if you're putting it in this section, you're trying to, I guess, state that it's falling under
yeah, it's
public,
like,
semi-public institutional.
yeah,
And so that's why it's there, it's
There.
not in the business section.
yeah, because it's not a.
It's
it-
not-
it's
it-
typically not a for-profit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, and the town of Reed got spared again to,
Yeah.
like John's Point, most skater parks, the town have made a public park for kids to skate in, it's not a private company that rents the park out for you to skate in.
Yeah.
Or if it is a commercial thing, it's typically in the building.
Yeah, no, no.
Basketball courts.
Yeah.
and
'Cause like,
volleyball,
we could open,
whatever, but-
just a silly example would be,
So they can control the people
Yeah.
in, they have it in and out.
because we could do like this, with a smaller degree, we have the playground over here, we could make that, the town could make that twice the size and build like an obstacle course, like a ninja course for kids to play in.
Yeah.
But the exact same thing is being built right now down at the mall, which is a ninja course, but that's
Indoor
Right.
a
amusement.
private, that's an indoor amusement, that's money.
Yeah.
Fit the Walpole Wall?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they're doing about 40,000 square feet of trampolines, bumper cars, obstacle course.
Oh, wow.
Whereabouts?
Inside in the centre of the mall. Remember when you walked into the mall, you had like past
Where
with
the dream machine
the
used
dream
to be,
machine's
plus
gone,
RIP,
all the
carpet
other,
gone.
yeah.
We've done that so many times.
That's completely gone. So like where you walk around.
I saw signs of things designed like that, but I
Yeah.
never saw where it followed that through on, yes.
Yeah, no,
I'll have
they
to check
that
it
you
out.
walk in there now. You can't walk to all the stores anymore. Besides
Oh,
the
yeah,
dent.
that was stupid.
The dentist is the only thing that's still left there. The rest is just a hallway to Broderick's. And then from that hallway all the way, so everything that was on the left, I think it was like I think before my time, it was an AT&T store or something was in there. Like that's completely gone. There's nothing left in there. But it's gonna be this big kind of fun city place.
Is that, something like that jump down and all of them?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, trampolines, obstacles.
Yeah, they have some, they've small, few trampolines.
Ty Laws?
Huh?
Was that Ty Laws?
Yeah, he was involved in it at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, this is a nationwide company that they do all over the country. So they're probably gonna be ready in January. They're building at the moment, but yeah, it's pretty big, and they have rooms there so you can have your birthday parties and let your kids loose for the day. So that's where that would be
New
kind
version
of,
of Chuck E. Cheese.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Okay, so
So
last,
could you have, excuse me a second, but, so could you put in any commercial or public recreational uses that go on before? That way there you could get your,
I think maybe-
public, tennis courts or something in there, right?
was that already protected though?
I think
I
commercial.
wouldn't think so, but I would think that would, if they're gonna build a building for it, they're looking to make money out of it. So I think that would be under commercial, if they were having some
You're talking about if they-
recreation like a
Yeah.
spa, not a spa necessarily, but,
Like-
This
So
is
how would that
where
work?
they
I don't
wanna
know
build
where
it.
it would fit
But
necessarily.
that's what I think the way it is, because like, how far into the weeds do you want to go? Because technically, commercial recreation is either private or public. It go either
That's-
way.
Yeah, and it's,
It goes
but
inside
it's
or
a question of
outside.
should it be, if it's commercial, should it be in this category of public, semi-public?
Well, I think that's the reason it's in this is because commercial also falls with the town open it up. Because like technically there, that's a commercial pool over there, but it's a public pool. If I put that, if I could build the same thing and charge people to go for the summer, which some towns do, or some private entities do, that's where, this is where it gets, in my opinion, well, my mind anyway, is I come across a lot, is where there's crossover. And that's where having this here with, and then having the other one under B gives me some separation. I can say, okay, you are a profit, I'm gonna put you over here, even though they could fit here, but you are for profit, you're over here. But then if you say non-profit, the town could be saying, okay, we want to set up a concession stand to make money to pay for everything, and if we make extra money, now if we put it down as a non-profit, are we giving them like, that's why I get the profit, non-profit, but sometimes putting them something specific to non-profit can come back and basically bite you.
So it makes it easier for you,
This makes, yeah,
Just leave
well,
it.
that's what
Sometimes.
I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I need easy as I can.
So the other, last thing I have for this section is the last category, restroom and storage facilities and or concession stand to be operated by a governmental or nonprofit agency accessory to a permanent recreational use.
Mhm.
My question here is, one, why is it special permit everywhere as opposed to by right within a, PCRC? Or is it better to separate restroom and storage facilities from concession stand?
Restroom
Because,
requires hook up to water.
yeah, but do we need a special permit for hooking up a town restroom to water? I don't know why that's,
We usually, the concession stand and restrooms go together
And
most
Yeah.
of the time.
they can, yeah,
It was a major thing for the fuels
I know,
project.
yeah.
Because if we extend the water for that,
Mhm.
who's gonna hook up from that down to Norfolk? That was the big issue.
About, so if you,
Going
the
to
concern was
Norfolk.
extending water
the prison?
Yeah,
to
well,
that,
not the
because
prison,
Norfolk
but
would,
we're,
Pondville.
Pondville,
Yeah,
yes.
Pondville, but,
they're looking to build something huge there. They
Yeah.
wanna hook up to our water supply. So the purpose, the big argument on the fields was, we don't want our water going from here into Norfolk. So we don't want the water line to get into the fields.
yeah, but they would have to request hookup anyway.
That's, yeah, that's kind of
So-
shooting, because again, you could run down they have, like, we have houses that have sewer in this town, but the water comes from the neighbouring town, like Bubbling Brook, or it's vice versa. I think the water's here and the sewer goes to Westwood, but you still have to get permission, because they done it with, when the hotel went out the first time behind Applebee's, they were going to build on Sharon's side, we denied them our water. So we have that right, so that being a reason, I thought, being honest, I thought it was a silly reason, because we built a ton of fields with a boatload of kids, and you said we're not putting bathrooms up there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I go,
Yeah.
I know on a good day I need to go to the bathroom when I'm running around the field.
I just
Now you
can't
have
see
50
the argument for
kids.
the special permit for that use if it's already with a permitted recreational use, because, I mean, this is just my opinion, I think it makes that recreational use either safer or more appealing
Yes.
if
Yeah.
it has both. When storage facilities shouldn't be tied to this at all, because, I mean,
True.
having a shed for storing equipment, I think, is not a problem. The only thing I guess you could say is, yeah, concession stand, maybe that can be a nuisance.
No, I mean, I agree, I think we should look at all of those that have special permit and really look at them. Do you really need a special permit for all that?
I agree.
I agree.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's.
this is just more opportunities to like gum up the works.
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
on
And
that-
I think we should really look at
Yeah.
what do we hope to achieve with special permit? Like, what is it for?
Mhm.
You know, what are we trying to protect? And then the things that really don't need that or don't achieve our goals, then we should regulate it, by right with
Yeah.
regulations through the building department.
Yeah, like I like Patrick's
That's
idea
my-
on this one, like, yeah, restrooms, facilities can be, but I can see on that one why it's a special permit, say in the residential areas, because that's unique, right? Right, a soccer field can't land in the middle of a residential area, but if it lands in the PSRC, that's what it's designed for. Why do we need a special permit for bathrooms in that area when
The
that's
town
the
facility.
But how would,
Like that.
how would have a special permit better protect you versus like a site plan review? So you can say
Or even, I
no.
was even.
Well,
So you
so-
can say no.
But you
Even
can't,
limited.
so, if you,
I don't know, for
if you
that.
obey the
There's
law of our
building
zoning,
those.
you
Yeah.
can't deny a
I
site
feel like you're
plan.
I know,
building.
that's what I'm saying, so the
So
only
you're either
reason
adding
to do a
this after the
special
fact,
permit is if you
or
want
you're
the
going-
right
Well,
to
it's an
deny.
accessory, right? It's an
Oh, so
accessory.
look at that.
Basically.
But to an
Yeah,
already permitted use.
but if you were putting big fields
I
like
guess it
that,
could be
say,
combining
close
if
to,
you're doing a new
like,
town
one A
field
field is
too,
perfect,
you
because
know,
there's not many
you wanna
houses
put
around it.
concession, or you wanna
So,
put
and again, it's in the
bathrooms.
park area, so why do you need,
But that makes.
to me, I
alright,
think,
so
why do you need
the
special
field would
permits
be
in the
fine,
park area?
But then we stop you on the.
You have the right to come in and put a
concession
soccer field, the
stand,
town could just
bathroom.
eminent domain, take
I
someone's
know,
field,
seems
put a
kinda-
soccer field here, and it could be surrounded by
know.
residential homes. That, I think, if you're putting concession stand and stuff, I'd rather a special permit for that, because to your point, yeah, you can do a site plan, but I can move that concession stand wherever I want to put it and go, I'm
Right
putting it over
next to
here,
your-
right next there. You're not gonna you can't deny site plan, you're not allowed.
Right.
But if you have a special permit in the residential, you can say, okay, now you're too close to the homes, we want it moved over here, we will approve it if you move it over here, away from the homes. So that's why I think some of it should be.
They need to abide by, just need to abide by dimensional regulations anyway, though. Are you treating that, as like an accessory building?
I treat that, well, that's a, yeah, it would be treated as an accessory, but I think if you go just through site plan,
Yeah.
to what Sarah was kind of saying, my thing is, in the residential area,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it being a special permit, because if you're just doing site plan,
Yeah.
I can stick that concession stand, so if I push it back far enough, and is it a primary or is it a secondary? It's the only building on the lot.
Yeah.
If you claim it's a secondary or it's an accessory, I can go within 6 feet of the neighbour's property with a concession stand and toilets. If I'm in my backyard looking out and
Yeah.
not be mean, little kids running, peeing and screaming, and I've got toilets at my back door, I'm going, on my deck, I'm gonna go a bit mad.
But does the size matter going the 6 feet, it would have to be less than 15 feet high and no bigger than 24 by 24, is it?
24 by 20, yeah. So you, again, depends on, we have a nice one, thank God, up.
And then you have the ZBA just on vibes, tell an applicant where to put the building.
To a degree, because if you are putting in a residential neighbourhood, that's
I
my
also wonder-
opinion.
No, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, I would prefer to
It-
just figure out what we want and put it in
Yeah.
the book, instead of
Yeah.
make people guess what we
My
want.
gut is, I mean, so one, are we treating this as an accessory use then? Correct? Or to, if it's a.
That's what it says.
Yeah, so it's
It's
accessories
accessory.
to already.
Which then,
Permanent
that's what, to
recreational
your
use.
point, is, if we're treating this as an accessory use, I can put that within 6 feet of a residential home.
Mm.
Or even if, say, again, say if the town takes land in GR, I can put it up to 10 feet, because GR is 10 feet, I don't need to worry about 6 feet, I can still go 10 feet with 15 bathrooms, concession stand, there's a game on at 10 o'clock at night, I have a ton of kids screaming around it, and you're trying to sit in your house. Like the PSRC, I see that as allowed, because that's what that land was designed for, to have all that there.
Yeah.
If it's going in residential,
Same thing with like HB, LM,
Yeah.
maybe even industrial.
element,
like-
they should be all
I'm
as
also
of right.
looking at it as in like, if you look at, back to L&M, right?
Well, maybe not central business.
Yeah, and it's central business,
You wouldn't want a
I
bunch of kids running around.
No, not,
I don't even think it makes sense in central, I don't think that.
could even fit it anywhere in central
Yeah.
Yeah.
business.
I mean, watch here, it's like say, when there's already, you have the pool over here, although that's PCRC, right? I don't think that's that's not CBD.
No, that's
No,
not.
that's park, yeah. Actually, I think that might be GR.
Some might be in one and some might be in another.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot,
But-
dividing lines.
Yeah, but I guess to the bigger point, I mean, if we wanted to leave it as special permit in residential, it's fine, but I would really allow it by right, especially in use in districts that already allow commercial recreational by right.
Mhm.
Which one are you looking
So I'm just highlighting M right there, right?
at?
So
Yeah.
I would argue whether or not we want to, you know, I understand why they have it as special permanent industrial, because ideally, like, you're not gonna have, a horse farm in an industrial park.
So-
But,
But there'd be
Question
Board of
is
Health,
so-
like the Board of Health would have its own process of
It
dealing with
would
something like
too,
that,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's,
So-
I'm with you, Pat, I think
Yeah, I would consider making this by right though, at least mimicking this
I would,
at the very
well,
least. No, what do you think?
by right or maybe a limited?
I don't think it needs to be limited if it's an accessory use to a permitted use. I mean,
Mm.
you're,
Well, no, if you could do, it depends on the size, the limited use would trigger how big it goes, you could do a limited, especially if it's gonna be on town property and it's town use. The department heads would be looking at it anyway, so you're virtually are getting a limited site plan.
Yeah, like, do we need to put people through 5 4-hour planning board meetings to?
well, just because something is by right doesn't mean obviously it doesn't
It's
have to go
site
through
septic.
site plan.
Yeah, it doesn't have
So
to- yeah.
So it would be dependent on
Yeah.
additional things, so if they put in
Yeah.
a giant concession stand, they're still gonna have to go to site plan.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, you need a special permit for, say, residential A and B, GR,
Yeah.
that's through zoning board, and then you still go for site plan. We're just saying, I think, correct me if I'm right, what you're saying is, put in PRSC, say LM, highway,
Yeah.
and industrial, make it as of right, you still have to go to site plan, but you don't have to go to zoning board to get approved for that area, because that's what it's really designed for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is Stonefield part of the CBD?
I don't
I think it
think
cuts
so.
it off, I think
Well,
the parking lot,
maybe,
alright, let's let,
I have it open, but I should have.
Do you?
Location?
I don't think it
Might want- oh boy. Yeah, I got a ton, go to that one there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
So if you go to one, so if you just search 135 School Street, that field will come up with us.
I think when we did the master plan in
Be mapped.
2001,
It's
we
a nice
extended
way
the CBD.
So that'll bring up.
It's Stone Street, the field is not CBD.
It's not?
No.
So what is the parking lot with the line behind the stores?
The only,
That could be over slow.
it's the parcels on Main Street, and then there's one, the parking lot and the
Oh,
parcels
well.
on Main Street. That
So
are-
it must be the.
That's what it's
So
like.
directly
Green
across
and
from the
everything.
No,
parking
it should
lot
kick back.
is,
Just if you click on
whatever
that.
it
It won't
is,
take
GR
you
right
Okay, so the
now.
line must be right down
That's
almost
why-
the guardrail out there or something.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're back.
Oh, we're back, love it.
so the pool, Memorial Con, Town
I'm
Hall,
just trying to get to
all
the-
that is
Yeah.
on. I think
GR.
it's a
Oh,
little bit
interesting.
zone map.
So, I mean, I was just saying, in the CBD, maybe not even not allowed. Right?
Well, yeah, as I said, leave it as a special permit or not allowed, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'd leave it as special
Because
permit
really
more
no
than
more.
not allowed, because again, is a government or a non-profit which has protection too, so you can't, that's why you can't deny them. So you can't say not allowed, it's protected, non-profits, for, same as a daycare, it's very well protected. So that's why you can say, under that, you can say special permit. So that's why I was thinking like the Parks and Rec area, HBD, LM and industrial as of right, and then business, CBD and all the residential special permit.
So here's CBD, so yes, don't feel, I mean, it's like a small portion of it. Kind of weird.
That was strange, yeah.
Yeah, right?
There's like
Is
So
it-
it's definitely, it's
isn't
technically
that-
GR.
Yeah, that's like,
Yeah.
this little,
'Cause we
Yeah,
haven't-
but isn't that the parking lot?
I think, yeah, I think you're right, I think it is.
Well, so I guess to the point of,
Like, this
where
is
are
the
we?
pool here.
Alright, so the restroom
the
thing,
pool's
so
on this
hypothetically,
side.
I'm
Yeah,
trying,
right,
I'm
this
is
trying to
town
talk
hall
about like
here.
if you were
Ah,
put
right, right,
a
right.
facility at like
Right.
Stone Field.
Right.
if that was
well, I was
hypothetical.
saying, like, there's no place for it in CBD anyways, right? I mean,
Not
we're
really.
locked out, so if we didn't have it, we didn't allow it in CBD, it would not affect the Stonefield,
No, I
Okay.
wouldn't, no.
right?
But you can't not allow it, because it's protected, it's protected
Right.
use.
Okay.
So
So you
just
have to put at
special
least a
permit.
special permit.
Right.
So that's, again,
The
that's why I
special
was,
stands of protected use?
no, because it falls under, well, it depends if the right sweets in there.
Right.
If
But
they
it's a-
got good chocolate.
Yes, it's getting proved right away.
Yeah.
But no, it's because it's a government or non-profit agency.
Got it.
They are protected.
Alright.
So that's why I was thinking special permit across, and then PSRC is as of right, HB, LM and industrial all allowed as of right, and then we keep all residential, business and CBD as special permit.
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah.
Even though, as Pat was talking about mirroring
Yep.
M has special permit for industrial, that's okay?
I mean, we can change that to B, or we could leave it as is. I'm not,
Well, M has,
Or do you wanna leave?
LM is allowed industrial special permit.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
So I'm just, since you mentioned allowed for industrial for the,
it's kind of random, huh?
yeah.
In industrial, I think, honestly, nothing, we allow everything in industrial.
So this is another,
Yeah, so,
There isn't that much industrial,
Yeah.
that's really.
yeah, why would we
industrial.
need a special permit
my thinking
The
is,
idea
to
being
have a
leave
park
it-
and
Leave
industrial?
something to the
Trying to keep
business
it more for
to-
commercial businesses.
that's what my thought is. They probably
Oh.
did, because they, commercial land, they wanna have that commercial tax rate, you wanna try to preserve that for.
So they just wanna
you know.
make things difficult and hope
Which is,
people go
yeah,
away.
right, if you wanted to do it, you still can apply, and then they could say,
Yeah.
no, for what reasons, other than what could be there?
Yeah, you want just, again, yeah, to your point, you don't want a lot of kids running around with a chemical plant beside you.
True. We got rid of the chemical plant, didn't we?
Got rid of this chemical
No,
storage.
you got rid of
The plant is still there.
Structure, but.
No, the storage company left.
Yeah.
So there was a chemical plant, and then next door where they used to store the chemicals, they moved out.
So you think it's good to keep special permit then?
On the,
Yeah, on the
On that one, yeah.
commercial
On M.
uses, yeah, M
On
and
M.
M and L.
M and L and M.
LM.
L.
No.
But not LM, but LN.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'll leave that as is. We can kind of like sit with it, and then maybe just try to move on. Agricultural. I think this goes back to what town council was saying. I didn't make any changes there only because I think the changes that need
There's
to
one
happen.
typo that needs to be fixed.
Where is that?
On C. Well, actually, maybe we changed it from this latest one, let me check.
I guess what I'm saying. So like agricultural should
Yeah,
be
on
dictated
C,
by-
the last sentence,
Section 3.
it shouldn't say
Yeah.
apply only to parcels of less than 5, it should say applies to parcels of greater than 5, shouldn't it?
No, because greater than 5 is protected.
Yeah, so this is where Walpole and some towns do this. So if you notice, A is a parcel
Less than
of
5.
less than 2, then the next one is a parcel
5.
less than 5 with building structures, and then sales rooms is still less than 5, because technically agricultural under state law is 5 plus. So under state law you fall under 60, 61A and 61B for agriculture, like a farm you need 5 acres. Nurseries and forestries you need 10 acres, and you fall under agriculture and you're protected there. We put in these as 5 for smaller, because like all the big farms kind of around here have kind of
So
gone
do we
away.
need to add a D then for greater than 5?
No, because that falls under 48 section 3. That's already very well protected at the state level.
Yeah.
So once you get to that, it's a whole different criteria.
I think this language I might just kind of kick back to town council to tell us how to write it. Only because that was one of her main notes, it's just, this was not really compliant with, I mean, maybe not this, but I think maybe we need to include the line in there for agricultural.
Over
as-
5.
Yeah, or just
Yeah, or
agricultural as
agricultural laws.
defined
Yeah,
under.
Master Law 48 section 3.
Yeah. I'm just gonna leave that alone for now and just go to our favorite residential. So, I guess I had an initial kind of thought on this, and this is kind of a conversation that's like, we deal with it in practice, and I think it's, when it's new construction for a particular use, whether it's multifamily or multiple dwelling units on a lot, and I know it goes to the zoning board right now. If it's new construction, my general thought is it should fall under planning board for the special permit with the use of.
The
rather
site
than-
plan.
Yeah, because if you're going for site plan anyway,
Mhm.
and you're going for that use, I know that's kind of, I mean, that's just,
Oh no, I'm just trying to-
right? Because what you essentially have is a developer going to one committee, then going back to another committee, where one committee is
Yeah,
rendering a
that's
decision.
always an issue, yeah.
And
Yeah.
are you specifically talking about D, or which one are you?
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
about?
D, and I mean, then I guess it would be, well, 5G now, which was 6C4A, which was now passed.
Multiple buildings on
multiple
a
buildings on a
lot.
lot.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's just more of just a general kind of thought on that. I think it's just, you know, I
I agree.
typically would
Yeah.
say that it makes sense. I mean, if it's, you know, reuse of an existing building and it doesn't have to call for site plan review, then yeah, I guess you just have it go under zoning board, but I don't know. Another two comments, and this is just kind of something that Jim and I tried a couple of years ago, didn't work, is I still personally think that within the GR, a two-family should be by right, especially if it has to meet certain requirements with
Mhm.
size.
Agreed.
Strongly agreed.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
with three-family. Multifamily, you could argue, could certainly have a special permit, but the criteria for which it's judged right now, I find, it was clearly, the criteria was clearly put in there to not allow for multifamily.
Yes.
The 50-foot buffer requirement,
Yeah.
pretty much kicks out
Kills
most, if
everything,
not
yeah.
every, yeah,
Jesus
lot within the
Christ.
GR.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never liked that, but, cause all our buffers in town go off of the district zoning lines.
Yeah,
This puts you
a
in
parcel, you
a
basically.
parcel, so, or even an empty parcel.
Yeah,
So someone has a little lawn next door and never planned to do anything with it, or if it's not even a buildable lot,
yeah.
it kills the buildable lot, which I've never liked, cause
If
again,
we're saying like, say it's
If
a
I'm sitting in a
four-family.
single family, I don't want someone building a three-family next to me without me knowing it.
well, no, not knowing, what we're saying is, what I'm saying is 3D, three eyes, three eyes, the third one. It says a 50-foot buffer zone shall be required where the adjacent lot has a single family dwelling or a vacant lot. So if I have a parcel of land and I have a single family on each side of me,
Yeah,
I'm in GR, which is designed for multifamily, so that's the primary.
yeah.
But if I have a single house here, and I have my lot that's long enough that I could do a driveway, put one house here and one house back here, but my lot's only 100 foot wide, which is the minimum requirement for GR,
Yeah,
I cannot build on that lot at all. Because I need 50 foot off this guy and 50 foot off this guy, your 100 foot's gone. It's killed an entire buildable lot.
Yeah.
Or even if this is a vacant lot because you can't build on it, and the guy's just holding on to it, you've killed a lot that you can put two houses, which is, in my opinion, you're in GR.
Right.
We named the GR for multifamily. To say you can't do multiple families in a multiple family area, to me, it's insane.
Mhm.
I think the buffer should go back to, if you bought in a district line where the RA is right here, yes, then a 50-foot buffer I think is good there. But not if you're in the heart of GR. Just because you have a left and right, if you have single family homes, you can deny a person that has the land and everything to do with multifamily. That's why our GR is not working in this town.
Yeah.
And that's why the state are wedging 40Bs, the ADU nonsense, the MBTA down our throats. We have, I think we
State is general, not just Walpole.
Yeah, no, the whole state, yeah. But that's why it's getting wedged down our throat too, because honestly, from Walpole's point of view, I think we ran the numbers before. We have a GR that I think 7% is buildable as multifamily. That's it. That's not GR.
Right.
No.
That's
Yeah.
just calling it GR and saying single family everywhere.
And how much of that percentage would change, do you think, if we got rid of the 50 buffer, the 50-foot
If you
buffer?
go rid of
It
50
helps.
foot, it'll help. It'll probably go up to about 15% or so.
It's still
It's not gonna be a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I still find the whole 10,000 per each dwelling unit incredibly excessive, because you have
Yes.
lots on 10,000, so
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
dealing with an apartment building, say you have 5 units, right? Now you need a 50,000 square foot lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
What if it's it's a contained site, it's
Yeah.
blends well into the community, it's on over an acre now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that really the
The-
best
the-
use of land?
The town did a study on
SPZ.
like the
Yeah.
existing zoning versus what's there.
Mhm.
Do we have the case in the GR where like, you know, what's built is actually like on smaller lots than what we allow now? Like, do we have like
Yeah.
an average
Yeah.
lot size of like 8,000
So
versus?
when we looked at it, we basically took the parcel data with the use data and just compared what was built on, the size of it, and just the amount of pre-existing
Yeah.
non-conforming
Yeah, yeah.
homes. And it's like, it's what you would think,
A
right?
lot,
You've got like
yeah.
a 4,000
Big
square foot
smash.
home with a home on it, you know, you
Yeah.
can't allow that today, but I would say a lot of them are lower than 10, or lower than 15,000 in particular, which is
Yeah.
a requirement for a
Which is what we
single-family
have
home.
now, yeah.
You know, especially, you know, obviously within East Walpole itself. The numbers don't have off the top of my head, obviously, but I mean, this is something Jim and I
We
If
looked
looked
at
it's,
into
if
years
it's
ago.
something we're gonna think about, it might be good data to like present.
Bring back up,
To
yeah,
the
idea.
public and just be
Definitely
like, you know, like, we're saying,
Mhm.
like, you know, let's make the GR what the GR is.
Yeah, because someone did go prior to, so I'm here 6 years, so prior to me getting here, someone did go to town meeting for the or the multi-single families in this, that was 6C, but it's gone to 5 now, and put in a good law, but it went on to moratorium,
Mhm.
and the moratorium ran out, so it just went away.
Yeah.
But some of the things they had was, if you have single-family homes, you had to keep the buildings 30 feet apart. They done things like that.
Yeah.
That's a good, because then it spreads out, it
Restricted.
gives you some more green area,
Yeah.
rather than, not to be mean to the gentleman, but Wall Street Development's doing one right at the moment, the houses are 10 feet apart. It
Yeah.
looks horrendous.
Yeah.
The work's good, but they're against it. But there was, someone did go, because I still have it here actually, because,
Is it the open space?
no, it
Oh,
was,
okay.
so I got it when I first came here, it was on moratorium, and some of the things they wanted under, it sat there and no one ever brought it back to the town meeting. It was meant to go back and never did.
It was like 2018?
Yeah.
Like that?
It was something, Article 36, yeah, 64, Article 36 in GR, blah, 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 blah. Try this one. I've lost the pages when my book's so long. But one of the things was like,
2019 or something.
yeah, this is prior to me getting, someone brought it in, it sat, the town voted on to put on the shelf. Yeah, so 2 to 3 vote required, declared, so vote by the monitor was put on moratorium. But some of the things they had in it, which I thought was good, was each house had to be 30 feet apart.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was good, because
Yeah.
then if you do single family homes, you might have the land to do it, but it spreads it out more, gives that more like a subdivision control. Or if you
kind of like,
if you have duplexes, it spreads them out more as well.
yeah.
Mm.
Like things like that, I think would improve our GR. Because
Yeah.
right now, again, we have a GR that's not there, that's honestly not great. We haven't had the misfortune yet of, again, we're getting good house prices right now, but just to talk on a previous town I worked in, people usually associate 40B with like a huge lot of land or an industrial area or manufacturing. I can go buy a single family home and do 40B on it.
Right.
So I could land a 40B right next door to your house if
Yeah.
I said, oh, I can stick 4 or 5 in there on a
Mhm.
10,000 square foot lot, very small lot.
Yeah.
I think, because that's what might happen down the road, is if someone's going to get a GR and you go, well, because the 50-foot buffer, everything is not buildable,
Right.
they'll go, okay, I'll do 3, instead of doing, if we don't have this 50-foot buffer from each lot,
Yeah.
if I have a nice skinny lot, I can do a house here, nice house here, drive it, look, 2 nice single family homes. And they go, no, you're not doing it because you don't have the 100 foot, which is ridiculous, considering your frontage is 100 feet. How can you say you need 100 feet frontage, but you have a 100 feet lot, you're not build on it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come back, as honestly I would if I had money and land. I would come back and go, okay, I'm going to stick at least 4 houses in there under 40B. And now we can't even stop. Now instead of having 2 nice little homes,
Yeah.
you're having a building wedged between the neighbours. That would peeve me
Right.
off more than,
Right.
so that's why.
Right, which is, yeah, like, you know, that's why, let's figure out what we want, what makes sense.
Yeah.
And what, you know, is in line with what's there, and
Yeah, 'cause that was all-
let's make it allowed.
Yeah, 'cause like we've talked and we're talking today about it, that was my one big thing, was that 50 foot from, again, a single family home. I'm sorry, you're in, like, we get people who've complained about the church bells. You bought a house beside the church.
Yeah.
You can't complain about, same with thing, if, not be mean, if you're in a single family home and someone's putting a 2-family, 3-family beside you, you live in a multi-family, you can't complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
And this 50-foot buffer, I get it from the district zoning line,
Right,
because
but
now
that's
you are,
already covered.
that's it, and you do the 50-foot,
Mhm.
but not if you're in the middle, because you're killing land that, it's, our principle is, it's meant to be for multi-family.
Mhm.
So things like that, like the fact that we did the size down, I think there's a few things we can do. I mean, again, on the back side, we can also do things that, again, we can give them the 50-foot buffer, take that away, but put in, back in that, I think it was good, was the 25, 30 feet between buildings.
Mhm.
Will spread it out more, make it look nicer. We won't have the houses right up to, because
Well, that would have to be for 5G, because
Yeah.
this one is,
But we could mix it, because they're obviously mixed together.
Yeah,
You could mix
we're
them
looking
together.
at both parts.
But you could put in here too, because technically if you wanted to do, if you had enough land, you could do a 3-family detached, so you could do a 3-family here, 3-family over here, kind of like honestly what's going up in, even though it's a 40B, but take say Dupy as an example. He's doing,
yeah, those are single family though.
oh, he's not doing duplex anymore?
No.
I thought duplexes, no? Oh, that's a bad example. Then.
Yeah, but they were when he proposed it.
Yeah, so
So
that'd be 30 feet apart from them rather than.
Neponset
Butane Terrace.
Village, the one off 5 Pleasant Street.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that was like
one.
3
Yeah.
families. Yeah.
So, but then you can put very close together. This
Yeah.
way you would spread them out. I think that would look cleaner and nicer in the neighbourhood than, again, it's killing a lot of land. It's eventually, like, being honest, the price of housing in this town have gone up and up, and I think they're going to keep going up to where the big developers are going to come this way and going, hey, there's a big parcel of land there, they won't let us do it as of right.
Yes.
Let's force that 40B down your throat again.
I think the 50-foot buffer in the same zoning district is done.
Yeah.
But next to,
And then, but the thing too is, once you get over three units, it's commercial, right? Does it become commercial? Only if it's in the same dwelling, so isn't a 4-family considered commercial? I know what the
Building code wise.
Your permitting in Walpole is 3 or more, right? It's commercial, right?
Yeah, 3 or more is commercial. That's always been, so if you go to 3, you're sprinkling it, or above your sprinkler, unless you build a 3, then if you go over 4 stories as a single family, or even a 2-family, if you do a 4-story 2-family, then that triggers 4, that's where you're getting 4 stories from.
So 3-family is commercial in Walpole?
Everywhere it's state law,
Oh.
Really?
yeah.
there's a, in terms of,
IRC building code.
In terms
It
of
is
your
when you
building
file-
code
it is
is
when you
how
file
you
the
decide.
permit.
Building code, yeah, so
Yeah.
IRC, so you have 2 books really, well, way too many bloody books, but your main books are IRC and IBC, residential and building code. The residential code is 1 and 2 family. Anything above that is commercial code.
Mhm.
Unless you do townhouses where it's a line of them, then you get to cherry pick which one you want to go into. You can either go into the IRC, because technically they're not standalone, they're single home families attached. So townhouses, you can either go with the IRC, or you can go under R2 in the IBC.
So,
And the only real difference is if you go over 12,000 square feet, then you're sprinkling them. Prior to that, you don't have to sprinkle them if you don't want to.
Where
So
do,
can
where
we
would townhouses
propose
go?
allowed by right for 2 and
It's just
3?
multifamily.
family?
Townhouses-
There's a separate listing for it, it's just.
What we tried
Oh, for
before?
townhouses? Townhouses would be considered,
family.
yeah.
I
So that'd
mean,
be dwellings on, multiple
so it's
dwellings.
2 things. I think to Sarah's point, to like, all right, changing those to by right.
Yep.
That has to be a decision that we understand that when we did this last time, this took all the town meeting, whereas if we're trying to put forward an article now,
Right, but
of
if,
this.
well, if
Yeah,
we're
it's almost
engaging
like-
with the
yeah.
community, like,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
something that we wanna talk with?
yeah, I
Well,
mean, I
this
think
is
if we
gonna be a
do
hot
an engage,
topic.
yeah, I would think if we have a public engagement, like a public forum, that's kind of the opportunity to do that, at least to
Yeah.
try to kind of feel out, people's perception, thoughts on it. I'm only, like, if there was positivity in terms of like doing something like that, I would almost even consider making that a separate article from that, only because
It's gonna be
that's
controversial.
a much more controversial topic than changing stuff with
Yeah.
bathrooms and
Yeah.
concession stands.
Agreed, but I think we should try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah,
Because I
that's,
think we could mix, to your point, we could mix like this little section here with the 6, we've moved 6C4 over here and mix the 2 of them kind of, because again, if you have
Yeah.
multiple buildings and you want to do spacing better.
technically that's a use, and technically that should probably
The two should be tied
within here.
together.
Yeah, was it?
The 2 should be tied together,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that it's a 6C4A, which now is 5G, we could really, that's something that could probably be listed
Back
under
away,
here too.
whatever,
Yeah,
was a previous person in your job, I
Yeah.
think, they said, well, I don't know why they have this, most state towns don't have this rule. They
What is
don't
it?
have multiple buildings on a lot for residential.
yeah.
Most towns didn't have it. And now suddenly Walpole had it, and Walpole got screwed.
So I have a different opinion on it. I think it could be a way around that. I understand if it's like, all right, well, is this a subdivision, or it's kind of like not, right?
They're avoiding subdivision control by
Yeah.
just doing it other ways, yeah.
So, I mean, on the two-family, I think
Yeah.
that should be almost a matter of right, shouldn't it?
Part of me says, yeah, I mean, I would,
On the two-family,
Yeah.
I'm on the fence with the
In
three-family.
GI,
yeah, I understand. I mean, that's,
I can see the two-family, yeah.
Huh?
I can see the two-family, because that's, again,
Two-family
the
would be
idea
a
of GI
matter
is
of right.
I think we lost by like 2 votes too. It
Yeah, that
close.
was
It was
tough.
close.
I mean, it's the only district you can put the two-family in anyway, so.
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
And plus, if you still kept the increase in lot area, right, so a single family in the GR is 15, I still think that's too high. But
Yeah.
I think if you kept the lot area same at 20,000, it's really like, I mean, it's a big lot for a
Right.
duplex.
Yeah.
And I think if you have the two-family as of right, a lot more people will go for 2 separate buildings than if you're going, okay, now, if you do 2 families a special permit, or a 3 families a special permit, I can fit a 3-family with it, but it's gonna be a triple decker. I can see someone going for that, going, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna spend the money, I might as well just go for it. But if you tell them that the 2 families as of right,
Mhm.
they'll go, okay, I can split the 2-family, I'll probably get the same money, because now they're 2 standalone individual homes.
Mhm.
And honestly, I'd rather 2 separate homes beside me than a 3-story building beside me.
And the developer wants to avoid the special permit process.
And by doing the single, because again, he goes 3-family,
Mhm.
he's going to go for what he can get, being honest, because a 3-family, one is the size of the building, your sprinkler in the building,
Mhm.
it's a lot more money. But if he can do 2 standalone and get good money for 2,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of examples, I mean, obviously, we're not gonna call it by name, you brought up an example in town, that was kind of a different situation over on Brook Lane, Burns Ave. In
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of having multiple dwellings on a lot, but
Yeah.
there's other, I mean, I could give you examples of, I think it's like Sawmill Village in Easton, there's a village, there's like a micro development in Lexington, these developments where it's multiple single-family dwellings on a lot, they're usually a smaller home, not mini home, but the appeal to them within a location like the GR, which in Walpole is, close to Route 1, there's definitely an appeal there for, especially if they have a first floor master, then you think about people that are downsizing, but they still want,
I mean, that seems to be the crave now, the individual dwelling condos now.
because they don't.
Like this one up here on, off West Street,
The rent.
I
Oh, yeah.
bet they'll sell like that.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, we've had people coming in for the last year and a half looking for pricing,
Yeah.
who's doing it, and we're like, it's not even up and going yet, they're like, we're still getting, every few weeks we get them going.
Yeah.
Like even, not by me, Burns Ave one, there's 6 of them already gone.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of them built.
But to like that point,
People
like
are
that's set
jumping
up
on it.
as an AQB, but there's certainly people that are under the age 55 that love the idea of like, I just want a home, I don't really wanna have to worry about
Right.
getting a lawnmower and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I personally love mowing the lawn, but at the same time, I can understand, there's that appeal, right?
Up to me in 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's like even, the one off of Fisher Street, the new development, the open
Emerald
space up
Way.
there. I mean, they were waiting in line, I mean, they were gone like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
so-
and crazy money by the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they, same thing, they're a HOA, to get, to your point, they might look after their own lawns, I agree, but they're not breaking their backs shoveling the road in front of their house, cause it's done for them.
People, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that can happen in this regular subdivision, but I think just you usually can have to have a smaller development
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
just
That's
multiple
I
single-family
started
homes on
making a
lot.
wish list, and then one of them is like an open space or like cluster
Yeah.
development where
Yeah.
that's where you can do affordable.
We had that at one point.
I know,
Well,
but
I really
that's a
think
way
we
where
need
you
to
can make
redefine
single
affordable.
family.
Yeah.
Because nothing
Affordable.
affordable is what I'm hearing is affordable as far as.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
concerned.
No,
Like
nothing is. I mean, that's the problem with where we are right now. I think if you build these, right? Oh, it's a smaller home. They're totally gonna go for like 850, 900.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a brand new home in a good area, and I don't know
crazy
what
the
you really do
prices.
to combat that. And even if you have
The thing.
an affordability restriction, we all know the 80% AMI is kind of a joke. I was talking to, I had a call with Mass Housing on a separate thing, and I was talking to one of them, and I was just brought that up, and they're like, no one's going under 80%, and a lot of it has to do with the cost of construction, and
Oh,
it's just,
construction right now has
Yeah.
gone crazy with, to do a home, like, again, just, I've been here 6 years, we ran the numbers, I think we were already talking about this, I ran the numbers when I got here. An average single family home was 460,000 in Walpole 6 years ago.
Wow.
Right now, the average single family home is 790,000.
Jesus.
That's 6 years. And that's to do with, yeah.
That's the
people
average, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
When I
average.
look in the paper, it seems higher than that.
Yeah.
It's
That's the average
it's
as
hard
a
to
whole.
find that house that's
Does-
700 in
Yeah,
this
well, that
town.
thing is, that's the average of the
I'll
houses
buy it.
that have been
Yeah.
sold. But right now, houses that are selling, 1 in 5 are over $1 million.
Yeah.
So that's getting tough, and again, there isn't going to be no affordable because it is the building cost. The energy code, that stretch code, is crucifying people.
It's
New
the
reg-
restrictive zoning.
Yeah, it's that too, but the new
Yeah,
houses, like
it's-
the things you have to put in that people have said, I've been to houses where they've put the stuff in, and as soon as we drive out the gate, they're ripping it out, and they're throwing it away, because right now, houses used to be able to get a 100 amp service in it, which is probably about $3,000. Now you have to put in at least 200 minimum, if you're lucky. That's a $7,000-8,000 price. And then if you change your house or add on to it, now you're jacking up to 400 amps because of all this energy code. It's a combination of everything coming together that's making the prices. There is no such thing as honestly affordable.
Right, so Jim, we have the 20,000 square foot for the two-family, which
Yeah.
I'll kind of go with that,
Yeah.
okay? But what are the three-family? Now, just say, for instance, you'd only need 25,000 for that. How would that affect parking and maybe open space in the lot, do you think? I mean, would it work or no?
Yeah, because again, like 30,000 is roughly about 3/4 of an acre. It depends on what you build. Are you going to build a triple decker? Are you doing three? Because if you do a triple decker, you're just going to put parking here and a chunk of parking, then the rest is all green.
You're doing
If you
three,
do 3 individual homes,
well, 3 townhouses.
or 3 townhouses,
Yeah.
then usually with townhouse you're putting a garage in there. So you're going to have a garage there. So I don't think that would affect it that much.
I mean, would it fit? Would it fit in there or?
Yeah,
You'd
so
have
like,
to make it fit, right?
yeah,
Shared, shared
yeah.
driveway.
well, because like a single family home, so if you've done 2 single family homes, you're allowed 4 parking spots, up to 4 for each house, so there's 8.
Yeah.
But if you've done a triple decker, you're allowed 2 parking spots per unit, you're only at 6. So technically 2 single family homes take more parking is allowed more parking than a 3 family. So it looks, because the best example I could give for parking, or to give an idea, is right across here at Stone Street. There's a very nice house right across from the firehouse, and they've got a little cottage out the back of it. That's barely on 15,000 square feet. That's a big house with a nice cottage at the back, and they have like 4 or 5 cars on it. And the house next door is a 2-family with a big paved area.
Yeah. So,
You can ask probably if you want to show it.
where's that one?
So, just to give you an aerial of it, just to.
You know, we're trying to cram houses and buildings around this area. And just the other day, I was out in Sutton Webster, and there's so much,
No,
you see
mine
nothing
was
but
got-
trees
oh,
up
right.
there, you know?
This
And
one's
then when I was in upstate New York
just to show an
last
area
month,
of,
all the open space, I mean, why can't people go there instead of
Well, they have to have
cramming
jobs.
in?
No
Huh?
job. Yeah.
They have to have jobs.
Yeah, no job.
It's like Maine, right?
You could retire there,
People go,
maybe.
Yes.
make jobs, you know, and when they get out there, I don't know.
yeah. So just to give you, let me see, find it first. where
It's
I-
hard to make that type of change. You know what I mean? Like, think about like upstate Maine. I mean, it is what it is. It's,
Well, I know you drive through there, and other than the farms up in New York, you say, what do they do?
I know, sometimes, yeah, you go places and you do see homes, and I
Yes.
wonder, like, what do these people do for jobs?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I want one.
But they're all like
You'll drive
independently
for free.
wealthy and they
know,
don't
yeah.
need,
So
this
this
is
is,
Nothing for 3 miles, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it'd be like 1 or 2 houses here, and nothing for another 3 miles, you know?
yeah.
so this is, Jim's just giving an example. This one's technically was done as an ADU.
No.
No, in-law, sweet thing.
well, yeah, she extended and used it as an in-law. But this is right across really from the firehouse, or from Blackstone. So yeah, so that one that's a pretty decent sized house.
And
just
that's a
for front view.
pre-existing non-conforming. That was,
That's a big house.
yeah.
What is that thing in the backyard?
A
Is
house.
that legal?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so terrifyingly, yeah.
They received back when we had the in-law suite bylaw, I know they got a special permit because they made alterations to that, but it's pre-existing non-conforming, and that's because I mean, how old is that? It's
Is that
probably
uncommon? Where is that?
No, it's right across from Blackburn Hall and Stone, right over
Early-
here.
early
Oh.
You don't
1900s.
even know it's there. You drive by it. But to Ed's point on the parking, they have 3 cars, I believe, in the main house, and they still have 2. They have another car, so they have 4 cars in total.
Yeah.
And then there's a house where, let me see, I only know because there was actually an Irish boy headed for a while. This one here, yeah, he had this. This is a very nice 2-family, but he has all this back here. Those lots, right? So this is a perfect example of GR. He is a 2-family. That's got pretty good land around it.
Yeah.
That should only have a single family home on it.
Because it's under 50,000.
Because it's under 20,000.
It's under 20,000. So that's a great
Perfect for an
example.
EDU right out back there, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But it gives you an I mean, that's
Yeah, like that's, to me, that's,
that.
it's designed for GR, it's designed for multifamily.
It looks like it fits in.
It fits in, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb,
Yeah,
but that's illegal.
yeah.
To the point is, that's a non-conforming structure. Because he should be only a single family home there. Because if you went by if that lot was clean and you came to me today, you were getting a single family home in there and that is it.
Zoning
Because
is
of the
very
lot size.
Because of the lot size and our GR, that's why I think that this is where it, and I think it's going to be a good hot topic at town meeting. Probably it'll be another Article 7, I think. It'll be a good screaming match. But we got to do something, I think.
it's
In a future.
Yeah.
And how big is that lot, you said?
That lot comes in around 17, 18,000. So it's still only allowed to have a single family home on it. And he has to get to 20 to be 2.
And how
So,
the age of this home is probably what, like early 1900s?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of a further example of the zoning changed, rules changed, but societal viewpoints changed, and that's why
Yeah.
people act like, well, understandable, people, they don't want to see that, but the reality is like, that was.
It's
already
already
a lot of-
there.
It's already been there, it's already here, yeah.
It's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
But like to your point, like you asked where it was, and I said right across the street, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
because you
Can't
be
even
honest,
see it.
you fly by that and you don't even know that it's a 2 or 3 family there.
Yeah,
you
I
don't
don't
even
think
notice
I knew there was anything back
it. Yeah.
there.
With the exception of Norwood, like everything West Roxbury and South is less dense now than it was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Norwood's the only place that isn't.
Yeah. Like Norwood is half the size of us, and they have
It's John Carroll.
5,000 more population than us.
Yeah.
miss them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was I gonna say? Oh, so that house there though,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's existing non-conforming,
Yeah.
but he could still do an ADU on that lot?
Oh yeah. If he wanted, he could put a 900 square foot unit back in the back on its own.
Well, what's in the back there now? Is that a-
Probably shit.
He's got 2 sheds, a double garage and a shed, and then that green area is a little play area he built for the kids.
Oh.
Nice.
But he still has like the driveway and a chunk of land to the left. Like,
So this article in general, though, like if we really wanted to, I know we have.
Keep it easy.
So it's 8:11 too. I think we kind of check ourselves at 8:30. I don't want to. My eyelids twitching. It's been a long week.
oh, tell me about
I
that.
don't think I've slept. But in general, this could almost be looked at again. 3 A, B, C, and D as like a separate
Yeah.
article. And we could bring out some data too in terms of reducing the from 20,000 to 15,000 or 30,000 to 25,000.
Yeah, and even
But
like,
I mean that's just that's a conversation. I don't want to just dismiss it right now, but I want to make sure we kind of cover as much as we can for.
Can we do
Yeah.
the 2-family as like
Yeah.
allowed, and then
keep the tree as a special.
would we be
permit.
better off, I mean, could you go with the limited site plan with the 3 and more?
3 or more, I'd stick to a special permit just for.
Yeah, I don't mind
That's
this.
it. Like a 2-family is one thing. A 3-family is a pretty dominant because it's going to be, unless you put it flat like townhouses, you're going to be putting it up. It's something solid. It's something
Yeah.
big. That I would kind of keep, because you're going to, again, you're looking at parking requirements to a
That's
degree.
probably much more
in-depth look at you
site
want.
plan review.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I think if we can find a nice balance, like asking 10,000 extra per unit is, to me, is odd because if I have a single family home, I think the last gentleman that done the 2-family home was Mr. on South Lewis Street or Lewis Street up here, Lewis Ave. If I do a second home, I need 10,000 for that home. But if I had a 2-family, say, and I added on a 3rd unit, say even like 800 square feet, I still need 10,000 square feet for an 800 square foot. Or I need 10,000 for a 5,000 square foot home. It's kind of, there's differential between if I put a single family home on it. So if I have 30,000 square feet, and I have a single family home on it, I can add 2 more units. I could add them to the house, or I could add them standalone. But if I have a say if I had a 4-unit building and I'm going for 50,000, I want to add on an extra unit, I need 10,000 for that unit. That could be just a little apartment unit. I still need the same 10,000 I would need for a house. To me, that's kind of odd. Why do you need 10,000 for a 900 square foot apartment?
I mean, I would limit it to 5,000. I mean, we're thinking that you're trying to find a number that equates to something, right? I mean, that's
I'd go. I
5,000 for each additional dwelling unit. I mean, I maybe
7.5.
Huh?
At least lower the small bit.
7.5. Yeah.
Make it not like go. Because I think that's what happens too. Is if you drop it,
10,000.
go from 10,000 down to say 5. I think people get, oh God, they're going to think of numbers. You're doubling you're double because that's a double to them.
Yeah,
You're going to double. You're going because again that's it. It's just in people's mind they'll think the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Which I won't.
I mean, it'd still be that initial 30,000.
Yeah.
How does like Westwood or Mansfield or maybe Dedham do it? Do we know? If not, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think I have Westwood's over here. So Westwood's, I don't know, for whatever reason, I really like the way Westwood does things because they had some zoning for like multifamily that was like decades old. Like they were ahead of the game for a while.
Yeah.
They have cluster.
They have cluster, but they have it set up. Hold on. Let me just find table of use. You can get
And they
there.
have design review.
They do.
Yeah, I like their zoning a lot.
So
Look at us appreciating some
Yeah.
zoning here.
Design review.
It has potential.
Open space
It
if it's
does
residential
right.
development.
Yeah,
I don't-
it's hard to do it right, but yes, it
'cause
has
you don't
potential.
You don't design
Within
review
section
as- now it's
8.3,
design review.
version 2
Especially
family,
plan,
residential
site plan,
Right.
special permit. Now you said another board to drag
Right.
off another
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, but
If you plan it right, it can be
Yeah.
very good.
So
Yeah.
8.3.
What does the BA stand for?
Where? The what? Oh, BA, Board of Appeals,
Okay.
I'm assuming.
yeah, I think so.
I could be lying. So 8.3 was, so this is another thing, so that's how their table is set up, and then kind of what I was talking about in terms of like, alright, where we have industrial
Accessory.
uses, hold on one second, commercial uses continue.
I think you're still in principal use.
I'm still in principal, alright, so these are all principal uses, and then
Yeah,
accessory uses show up right around. Oh no, they give, here's the footnotes, all the good stuff, and then accessory uses, here's the accessory use table, and then the separate accessory use table. But 8.3 is there, this is very interesting. It is, I think they're open space residential development.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, go back on, we don't need to go over this entirely, but this is essentially how they have it set up, right? It's allowed within a certain district, provided it meets the requirements of this,
Mhm.
which is how you really want it. You don't wanna you don't need to simplify stuff just to squeeze it into the table of use. You
Right.
can further explain and obviously provide the deep, like you mentioned, like with the proposed changes to multiple dwellings on the lot.
Yeah.
They got prescriptive, and this is kind of similar to that situation, right? I'm not gonna read it just cause, but you hear what I'm saying, this is just an example of how they do it here.
Is that one
Yeah.
of the attachments, the links you sent?
Yeah, I think it's.
The first one.
Why did we wait for more
But-
time? But why did Walpole get rid of the open space law?
It was a mess.
Was it just, cause I know there's an issue with one certain development that has
There were some
a
developers.
paddock that may or
maybe-
may never get built.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
like
like that,
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know if
There
there was.
There was a
issues-
moratorium,
Yeah.
and then we just threw it away.
Yeah.
That's my
I
memory.
think they had some issues at Christina Drive when they did that.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, but there was something.
Yeah, they have an open space behind them on the Norwood side that belongs to all them. It's got the retention basin or something in there.
Well,
I know, did you talk about
So behind Windsor Gardens.
That's like.
So you know where the old, the intersection between Bullard and 1A is? If you take a
Okay.
right onto Mylod,
Yeah.
there's a horseshoe-shaped subdivision in there.
Talking about the massive one that was on the old Bird property, or?
no. Main Street, you take the new light set where,
At the
Yeah.
Patriots Tavern,
Where,
you take
Yeah.
a right down to Mylod,
Yep.
and as soon as you're on
and
Mylod,
it's
the
right on
first
the
left,
left, before you get to
Oh,
the railroad
yeah,
bridge.
I got
Yeah.
you now, yep.
before you get to
I
ending.
know there was some issues with that,
That's
but I
Norwood,
think,
right?
you know what?
No, that's our still is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest issues that turned us off was when Bird did Indian up there.
Yeah.
And the open space was supposed to be recreational and stuff, and their open space was the cliff that goes
Cliffs,
down
yeah.
to
You
Washington
can't
Street.
do anything
and
with
there
it.
really
Yeah.
wasn't a lot, and then I thought the new language that we put in, you had to do a conventional plan first, and then that would give you the house lots that you would get. And then you would go in there and take out any of the conservation land or whatever, and then you would see if you could build those houses, and that's what we did off of Fisher Street up there. And I know there was a couple of things, when they did that, they had the circle there, and they had a little stub that went in.
Yeah.
And then they had a path for the walking path to come out between two houses there.
Yeah.
And I had said, that's just not gonna work. I mean,
You know,
these
it's
people
one
are gonna
house.
want these strangers, walking right through the yard to get in. So they get rid of that little stub, and I think that's where the walking path comes out now.
Yeah.
It was like when the far left.
Yeah.
It wasn't thought out well, I guess,
No.
in terms of.
Yeah, I like Chris
But he was
Stevens.
trying to count, Fiona was trying to count the house lots that he had already sold up off of, North Street
Oh, yeah.
as part of the parcel, you know?
Oh, yeah.
No, that stuff is gone, you know, so.
Like Christina layout wasn't bad for open space. Emerald Way, it's a beautiful area. That's the one thing I didn't like about the open space is you got relief for your lot sizes with open space, but instead of spreading it out through all the lots, so if you look at Emerald Way from an aerial view, the first 7 or 8 lots are these tiny little lots, and then they get bigger, and all of a sudden you got because you normally needed 40,000 square feet in that area. So the last 5 houses are 40,000 square feet, but some of the houses at the very beginning are 8,000 square feet. Because we got that allowance for open space. I think if we had an open space or bring it back, it'd be more, okay, you get an allowance, but you divide it up between all the lots, so you don't have like a skinny lot here and a massive lot here.
Right.
You spread it across the lot, so it's more like Christine, because Christine did get allowances, but they kept the houses, whoever developed it, kept them kind of the same size. Not because if you do an area of Emerald Way, the first few houses are tiny, and then they get massive.
I think that Fisher Street project came out pretty good.
So,
They did conventional houses up to the culvert there.
Yeah.
And then after that was the open space.
Yeah.
so guys,
And,
just to.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I made a note on a few things just because some of them would be accessory uses, or not accessory uses, but like the conversion, right? Another example where we could probably have it default to another, like, like a 5C4 or whatever, like however we want to structure it, where we have all those additional regulations placed so we don't clutter the table. But I wanted to kind of touch base, this is a 10-minute thought process, so don't take this as final thing, but how you structure the infamous 5B1 3G I and II. So the one I wrote here is just obviously having the change of the definition first, or not the definition, the actual, the way this is written, right? So the use of a floor other than the ground floor or basement for dwelling units, provided that such dwelling units are or will be connected to the public sewer at the time of construction in a GR zone, the requirements of table of use, the following conditions are met. And then we have the whole 3.5 times the gross floor area. And I would change that to just mixed-use development comprised of zoning district permissible commercial uses on the ground floor with residential dwelling units occupying all floors above the ground floor. I don't know if that's kind of clunky, but something that's not, a use, a residential, not on the ground, but it's a mixed use, it's called
Yeah.
mixed use. And you maybe need to define it within the definition section, but in terms of special regulation, so we would have it default to, all right, look at 5C, 3, whatever. It kind of took some of the language from the MBTA, and it's again very kind of simple, but just, I mean, I'll let that read it for yourself. And this is obviously, you can very much expand on this.
Is this part of what you sent us? Or
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's in the
It's
it's in the note.
Word document.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But so defining its own, dwelling units per acre. Again, it's I'm really just kind of taking the idea from what was the MBTA, in terms of, quantifying the density somehow, rather than having it be open-ended within the actual area itself. And another thing with this that I thought, not to kind of, bounce around, but I don't know if I really like the use in the GR for mixed use. Because if you don't allow for commercial in the mixed, in the GR, then how are you gonna have a mixed use
I
development?
agree with
Yeah.
that.
Right? I would just leave it as business and central business district.
And on that, what do
Yes.
you all think of making the business allowed similar to the central business district instead of a special permit? So in the business district, when you have like a mixed
Yeah.
use,
Oh,
just
yeah.
make that allowed.
Yes.
I agree with that. I also think our business district is bizarre. And that's kind
Like,
of
why are we like more tightly regulating the business with residential
thought is how they
than
set
central
it up.
business? It's
Yes.
kind of weird.
the nodes of business? So High Plain Street, 173 High Plain Street's a good example of that. Obviously got a lot of resistance. But it's a node of business along
Right.
Washington Street, like
Right.
there's where the barber shop on Washington Street, same deal.
Yeah.
On your
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
204.
their zoned business, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
East Walpole is another example, that's a whole mess,
Yeah.
in terms of. So I don't know, I mean, I don't have a problem with the idea of it being by right and still having to go through site plan review and meet
Yeah.
requirements.
yeah.
But I think it just becomes problematic in the little areas.
Yeah,
where maybe
the
people,
spot zoned
the
areas.
spot zone areas,
That's what's killing us.
which is more of an issue of just the spot zoning.
Yeah, we
Than
should
it is,
fix that.
Because that's
Yeah.
that's why I think the special permit for business district is in there. Because at least CBD, you're locked into a definitive area.
Yeah,
Business, it's
but there
all over the
are
place, it
what,
could be
like
anywhere.
2 or 3 parcels only?
Yeah,
The business weird ones?
Like this is a
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he's talking
Oh, yeah,
about.
Cumberland
That's
Farms,
what-
yeah,
that's
it's
what-
one of those
That's what I mean,
weird.
like,
Because like,
Jesus.
because honestly,
Cumberland Farms.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's just like little.
that's literally
Oh, yeah.
because there was
Smack.
always something there and they're like, oh,
Is that
keep
the
it
barber
business.
shop?
That's
No,
Right.
Cumberland
Right.
Farms.
Where
Which one?
Cumberland Farms.
Oh.
where Mackey's used to be.
yeah, in Washington and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Common.
I mean, is there any business zoned area that's not built already? I mean,
No,
isn't
no,
it-
they're
yeah,
all
pretty
all
much, yeah.
built. It's just what's in them, like, and we have LM as well, which is a weird one scattered out. Like we have obviously one up in the old school on 52 School Street. That's stuck in the middle of all residential.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird. We got 81 Diamond Street. That's like has a factory in the
Goes back to
basement.
the Milltown.
Yeah.
That's where the water falls.
Yeah,
The
so
mills
that
were.
one, like his parking, his lot was split when the town took part of the land to make a
Yeah.
road, but he has a building which is mixed use between a lodging house, caretaker's apartment and a
Yeah,
factory.
what is there?
And literally across the road is his parking lot, which is all RB.
And they're
It's
they're
82
building like a
streets.
Yeah.
Mill
mixed
Street,
use.
the new street.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty well,
This is the road.
that lot's pretty well,
The school is
you
on.
could get
Yeah,
a
Washington,
lot, I
yeah.
don't think the owner realised that he could build
Yeah,
a hell of a
there's
lot there if he
business
wants, because
Yeah,
the town done a taking, I mean, the town does a taking,
2.5 or
if you
something.
make a lot
Oh, it's-
non-conforming,
Yeah, I've
It
never
means you can do
noticed
whatever
that.
you
It's
want.
crazy.
Yeah,
Because
if
we
it's
ruled
non-conforming because the
Yeah.
town took it, yeah.
you're free to go.
So-
Yeah.
So that could be fixed.
So I think that Cumberland Farms, I feel like, that was a corner store. when I
That
was
goes
young.
back when,
when I was
that's why it
young,
was
right?
done that way, because.
Yeah, because it was a corner store, and then when they did zoning, they probably,
Forties probably.
Yeah.
they wanna make
Makes
him
sense.
non-conforming, so they let
Yeah.
it, but then they moved the house across the street or something over there. They did
Yeah, but
something like
they
that.
still in the
But the
store.
corner stores are nice.
That store was
Yeah,
there when I
no, they're
grew up.
great, I just don't know if they
The
really
store's
need to
been there since I
be
grew up.
zone.
Spot
Yeah,
zone.
yeah, yeah.
Spot
Yeah.
zone. You can keep it as,
Then it
you
might
can
become-
zone it, it's just a non-conforming
Yeah.
use.
I thought they
because-
moved the building out of the
I
house.
I think
or
it's just,
something.
I
it's
think
done
they
it
own
over
a
the years,
house
depend,
in
like,
one of the other corners or
So,
something.
it's like, what's on the Tree High Plain Street is, that was a motel or something on the corner there, so that was just business, and then over the years it died down. And I think Roach Brothers, something years ago,
Ride the
come in
bikes
and
down there and pick up.
something
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah.
No one told me the full story.
Well, no, it was bigger, it was a larger district.
It was a larger,
It
and
was on
someone
the
chopped it
side.
down really quick for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
And that was just that little section that's there, it's kinda, it is weird, but I think that's why business district is a special permit for residential.
Yeah.
Because it's
Well, we rezoned that
Duck
because
everywhere.
it was commercial.
It's odd,
across
so like
the
to
street
that
where the houses
point,
were. I think the Roach
like,
Brothers.
once in the Tree High
wanted
Plains,
to-
for
They
example,
wanted
like,
to.
the neighbours, they come on, nobody wanted that thing there.
Right.
It's allowed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't rezone that.
But if you allow, that's where,
Yeah.
things like that would be
Yeah, that
weird
was
if you
commercial.
allowed that by right.
Well,
to
it
the houses
was,
are.
not with the
Trying to-
houses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, opposite that building,
The
on the other
Yeah,
side of the
study
street.
that
That was
MAPC
rezoned.
is doing, are
That
they
was
gonna look
commercial.
at
Roach
stuff
Brothers
like
wanted
this?
to build
The
something.
weird.
Oh,
zoning,
it
yeah,
was commercial?
yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Oh, to a
Yeah, it
Triana.
was
I mean, mostly
rezoned
the
so they
focus
could
is
build houses
on
in there.
commercial industrial, but I mean, it is looking at the residential districts and where we have this non-conformity. Like a good example, Old West Street, I always bring it up, because it's like,
Yeah.
all those old homes are industrial, makes no sense, it's a
Mhm.
quick change, make that part of the CBD, or just make it GR.
Or across my house in Vos.
Across the
Washington.
Howard and Bow is another example, that's LM, but all
Mhm.
those homes are, you know, if it was
Across my
zoned-
house in Vos on Washington
GR.
Street, right after Union Street on the
Oh,
left.
how in both?
Yeah.
So-
Howells was in both, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's all LM where all those residential homes are, so that kinda, that kills them, cause they can never, it's special permits if they ever
There's
want
no
to
room for
expand
the
or
houses
anything.
anyways.
Mhm.
So in,
Got cliffs there.
in this section, I mean, this could be far more elaborate, and we can take a look at some other towns, but I'm also thinking of it as like, it's not an overlay, it's not like where we have this much, but we do wanna have some design, and we do wanna have some sort of regulation that we can incorporate into the zoning, but how it would be structured at the very least is, I mean, by right in CBD, and you can say by right in business, if you wanna do that, and remove the I and the II, and change the definition of G to be something that's more, you know, I have this, it can be totally restructured, but just mixed use development comprising of zoning, just, whatever that is, and then, say, similar to all the other ones that would need additional regulation, like C section 5 something for additional regulation, or however,
So
as,
just-
as regulated under 5C3
Okay,
or whatever.
that's the way they did some of the big projects down in town, is that right, Jim?
With the 3.5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the residential, there's still some residential, I mean, there is some commercial in some of those now, right?
Yeah, so 95 West has, so they, again, this is where you can play the numbers game and get permission, but they have like a lease office in there which is commercial use, and then they have a space that's not rented yet sitting there. On 1034 East, they have the same thing, they have a lease office in there, they have a gym now that's doing very well, and then they still have 2 other spots available, we're still trying to find people for them to go in there. So that's how they got there.
Do we know how those empty commercial spaces are being taxed?
No idea. I mean,
So commercial,
I'm sure it's at commercial rate anyway. 'cause
yeah,
that's
it's commercial
the size
rate.
of the
So
building.
the average, well, what they do is they take the square footage. Hope I get this right, otherwise Dennis Flisk will kill me because he's trying to teach me this. So commercial rate is he looks at what commercial space is renting as an average around the town, and he puts that to your tax rate. That says, okay, if it's getting $17 or $18 is for an office building, that's what he taxes you as,
Whether
Even though
it's
it's empty.
rented or not.
whether it's rented or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, that I like, the only other question that, like you said,
Oh,
replace,
the-
oh no, just my question would be
The
so if
definition.
you change that to, its definition,
So sorry, this is just, instead of the whole language, I'm not gonna do it.
yes,
This, this whole nonsense of the ground floor, not the ground floor,
oh, just
whatever it
replace
is,
that, oh, sorry.
just call it mixed use,
Okay,
and then
yeah.
have C regulations under
Okay,
5C
and
something.
would you be keeping the I and the
No.
two? So that's where I'd be careful, because right now that stops, so if you say mixed ground floor, and I covered, considering saying CBD,
Yep,
you can do 90% with building. So right now, if I do a whole commercial rate on the first floor, all 90%, and we don't have either the 3.5 times the ground floor, you could go 4 stories and do way past that if you wanted.
Excuse me.
So if you take out, so you're saying take
No,
out,
Pat's saying
this one,
regulate
or
it
am I
based
reading it
on,
wrong?
density.
Oh, based on
regulating
density.
density.
Adding
Yeah,
density.
no, yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he's
The
not
whole
just
thing is
taking
getting
it
rid
out.
of
Yeah. Okay.
This is the problem right here, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, I mean, again, this is super simplistic, but taking some of the language from the MBTA one in terms of the commercial space. So the non-residential commercial use shall be located only on the ground floor of the front facade facing the street or other public space such as the public park, plaza, or sidewalk. So basically the reason why it's worded like that is you need to have so much commercial to justify the residential, it's only just needs to be publicly accessible.
Yeah.
And I put this provision in, I could totally remove this, but a minimum of 25% of the ground floor space must be utilized for a commercial purpose. This percentage may be waived by the planning board to no less than 10% of the ground floor space, provided the applicant increase the number of affordable dwelling units to 20% of the total residential units proposed. So if they want to provide more affordable, they can reduce their commercial space, but they cannot go beyond 10%. And that's
Is that in MBTA communities? Or?
No, that one I just kind of made up. But
Okay.
I mean, that one, I don't know if those numbers work. I was just thinking of, all right, we want to preserve the mixed use. It's not a multifamily, it's a mixed use building, but we understand that we have a sea of commercial space that doesn't work in the existing mixed use buildings, but maybe something works where it's, hey, I got 4,000 square feet where I have 2,000 square foot units, and I got a cafe in one, I got a bookstore in the other, and the rest of the first floor is all parking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would rather have that if it's 2 successful uses than a sea of commercial space that's not
It's
being
empty.
used.
Yeah.
And then leave it up to the developer to find out what works for them. But I would also put some restrictions where it's like, we don't wanna go below a certain amount.
Would you make the parking public parking, or would you make the parking strictly for the tenants?
That I didn't specify, so I said open air parking for residents may be located in the rear or must be located to the rear or within the development away from public view. Covered residential parking may be incorporated within the ground floor or subfloor of the development, but shall not occupy the entirety of the ground floor space. Which is kind of going back to the whole, like, you need to have some commercial.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, sure, if I can have underground, under building parking,
As the
I'd
whole
love to
first-
pay more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people would like the under
People
building,
would love
'cause
that idea.
the underground parking is killing people right now, not like in our town. The last building we have actually is Leo's, and they got the money they spent on the steel. Summer Street, even the 40B that's going on Summer Street, they have 2 buildings underground, but they changed their form of building to save money, because they were originally going to do a steel frame with concrete, and they went to a post and tension, which is a hell of a lot of engineering, but it opens it up more, because they said I think they saved like $1 million plus in each building
From
by
the steel.
getting rid of the steel and doing the post and tension version.
Reduces the amount of interior supports. or-
So yeah, it's actually an interesting, basically they run a multitude of steel cables. When you pour the concrete's at a higher pressure, and within 24 hours you tighten those cables, and that cable is what holds the floor and the building up.
Yeah.
So it reduces the columns inside, so even the more open space underneath, so a lot
So
less steel.
this kind of goes back to, trying to find a way to quantify density. I take CBD, I just kept that how it is within the high density MBTA, and then for the B as the outer core, which is 20 dwelling units an acre. These are arbitrary numbers, we could change them, but I also thought, if it's almost like if you make these lower than then obviously they're just gonna do the MBTA zoning.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe for the business, I guess that changes because it's in different locations. But I don't know. I guess it can be this can definitely be worked on and elaborated. But this is probably the way I thought it would make sense to do this, which is just it's mixed use and then regulate the heck out of it because see with the MBTA, the density number looks like a number, but it's further regulated based upon the requirements of the development, which is the percentage of open space, the parking, the dimensional regulations, everything kind of changes and impacts that density. So it's not just, I got an acre, I can build 45 units.
Yeah.
You gotta make everything else work.
Green space,
And you usually end up
parking.
with less units than
Yeah.
that number is.
And do we have the ability to run some check or something to make sure that this is reasonable, like in the business district of what we have?
In terms of the
Yeah, like just
density or-
mix, yeah, like
Yeah.
density, mixed use, like,
I mean, I could look at the existing developments and see what those equate to. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. Like, I mean, I know, like,
it would be helpful,
Yeah.
like, if we're,
oh yeah,
like,
for sure, like,
talking with town meeting members or engaging with people,
We
like, we ran the numbers and this is,
we did this during the MBTA thing when we looked at it, like, I think a couple existing things within the downtown, and then even like smaller home, like, there were existing multifamily, I think, in like GR, and you look at it like, oh, it's a nice development, you're like, that's 70 units an acre, or
Right,
something,
yeah.
and you're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, but there's only 4 units in there, because the
Right.
lot's so small.
right,
And then that's how I guess trying to explain density that way is.
yeah.
We can have to have examples for sure. I don't know, I mean, that's,
Yeah, no, I think that'd be
The,
good.
the positive thing is, if this is the way we're doing it in Walpole, then this is the way we should do all the zones, right? Like, we shouldn't have this one zone, which is 3.5 times the whatever, and then this other zone that we do a density per acre, like, I would think, let's pick one that makes sense, and
Yeah.
then we do it,
well,
yeah,
I just think quantifying the density kind of, that's the only, when people bring up concerns about the size of these developments, there's a lot of ways to change that, and some are, may work but are impractical, and then some are like, well, let's try to quantify it,
mhm,
that's reasonable. And right now, we don't really quantify the density, we just,
yeah,
we provided a box, and you have to
Yeah.
make the box work, which, to be perfectly honest, from a development side, I think is very fair. But from a town, what the town wants,
Yeah.
in character, you wanna have some more control on how
Yeah.
big a development gets.
yeah,
So, that's, I mean, that or FAR, which, good luck, I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, well, it would work if it was new, but
Yeah.
trying to bring it to an existing town, you'd probably make
yeah,
90% of the houses in Walpole non-conforming.
Yeah. Another one, so, I mean, just to kind of, so, bed and breakfast, I wrote, do we wanna just make this short-term rentals and similar? Or do we wanna not touch that, really?
I wouldn't,
Don't touch it?
personally, I wouldn't bring short-term rentals into this town, because
I wouldn't, no.
you're
Okay.
open up Airbnbs to people renting out rooms in their
We
house.
won't touch it.
I'd
Yeah.
rather not.
Yeah.
Stadium.
Yeah, it's a big-
Yeah.
big fight with that one, I think.
Yeah, because you get someone who's living there to someone who has the house, they're just renting it out.
It's easy, I won't touch that one.
Yeah.
What is
And I
this?
think towns
Oh,
that have tried it, it's been a disaster for them sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
towns,
short-term rental.
yeah, it kills a lot of, like towns down the Cape, because now that's where ADUs are taking off, is down the Cape, because they,
It's away from
the rental, and it's all the rental and
Yeah.
everything, it's a very good way down there for them to utilize it. Up here,
Yeah,
So another one, just that, I know we buried 40, so let's do this kind of like a hard stop at 9. This goes into home occupation, and this is an example of something that I feel like this would be better listed as just home occupation, and define home occupation, and then
yeah,
similar to what I've talked about before, say you leave a footnote of say seed regulation, yada yada,
mhm,
and then you include this right here, which these are not bad, because I think Westwood and Norwood have a similar setup where basically they list home occupation and then they basically say go to this section to, you can have it so long as this, and this.
mhm,
Same thing, so with J, I think this is what we were talking about before, Jim, in terms of like, alright, well, what's the difference between, got someone that's got a workshop that could be making noise as opposed to someone that just has like an office or a dentist.
mhm.
yeah. It's usually what the breakdown, because, are they're very similar. You
Yeah.
can go, why my special permit, and why is this person, and as of right, it usually goes to, well, what's outside or what makes a lot of noise, so obviously,
Mhm.
like some of them are kind of weird, like a radio
Noise,
repairman,
noise.
Yeah, so like if I'm a cabinet maker and I have my workshop at home,
Saws going.
saws, big machinery, planers is going, but if you're a dentist, you've got someone coming in, unless you're a terrible dentist, they're not going to be screaming, and it won't be shouldn't be making much
Noise is kinda
noise.
low, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why because some of them are kind of odd, like a radio repairman, unless he's cranking the radio up to see if it works, he's not going to be making a lot of noise. But like workshop,
Testing the maximum volume.
yeah, so that's it, it's just,
Radio repairman, how many of those do we have?
Well, my radio's not
Right.
working.
So this is Westwood, not to just say everything Westwood, but so they have a definition, right? So an occupation, I mean, I'll let you read that. Or if you get the gist of what I'm talking about, right? So it's giving you an example of what they define as a home occupation, and then this is just the same thing, home
Yeah.
occupation pursuant to section 441. And
I like that
it's
better.
it's those things, so.
Yeah.
oh, and it breaks it down to
Breaks it
the
down,
criteria.
yeah. The criteria,
And so, yeah,
a little easier to digest.
Exactly, if there's limited to residential.
Yeah, there's a zone limited to residential, and I don't know what we think about that. You know, why do we have it by right within
Business, yeah.
business when ideally there's not
'Cause
supposed to
it-
be a residential use?
in the business,
There.
because if you have the residential use on the first floor, that's the non-conforming use, putting your dentist office there is actually the right use. So the house would be the wrong use, so why would you need, so I'm guessing that's the reason they're putting it in as of right in business, is because it is allowed there.
Okay, but what if I'm in an apartment and I wanna start making cabinets? I mean, I agree that that's more of an issue with
Yeah.
the building.
Builder,
but
yeah. But technically, yeah, you're right, you could,
Yeah, because nothing's saying that you're gonna put the business space on the bottom floor. I mean,
No.
you're gonna put it right in your unit.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, again, that's more of a private property handling itself, but I don't know, that's something that's kind of, I don't know if you really need to allow a home occupation in a business district when the business district is. Cause think about it, if it's a pre-existing, right? So if it's a pre-existing home,
well, so the problem is if it's a
Business.
pre-existing home in a district, again,
now it's blocked out from having that ability.
no, that's why I think it's allowed, because that's the one thing that is allowed in a single family home. You don't need a special permit, so where you have a special permit if you're in residential,
Yeah.
but if you have a home that's like non-conforming, it's in a business district,
Okay.
you can't go, you're going for a special permit for a dentist office that technically is allowed as of right in that space.
Okay.
Because the house is the thing that's the wrong thing,
Alright.
the dentist office is the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's why it's allowed under business.
So maybe we define it similar to like home occupation, intensive and then non-intensive, dealing with the whole office space. Yeah,
It sounds like it's more of the hobby type business or something, not so much
Yeah.
that you're in it to make a lot of money, you're doing it in your spare time.
Mhm.
And what do you think of like all the footnotes, like is there any, so they're slightly different for what's special permit, what's ones that are allowed as of right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole section already talking about outside display of goods, so that's covered somewhere else in the bylaws.
There's only those three. No.
External appearance, general aspect of buildings is conform with residential structure, that's part of the bylaws. That's in the bylaws, it's all conditions of special permit.
Yeah, how does that make sense for an allowed? So if you have something in the CBD,
Mhm.
so it's allowed.
Yep.
There's no outside display of goods?
Well, so this is tying back to the portion of a dwelling or a building. So that's why, again, I think this is where it crosses over, this is
Oh,
where
so
codes
like-
mix, because you are allowed to do that.
In your apartment, you can't put like your goods displayed out on your
Yeah.
balcony.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the use is allowed in CBD.
Okay.
And then if you are displaying goods, it also falls, as John said, into another paragraph in the code on your displaying your goods.
Okay.
I see.
That makes
How
sense.
could the JI, not more than one person other than residents of the premises is regularly employed thereon? No dentist office works, so that, under that. You always got the dentist and 3 or 4 associates there. They never meet that requirement.
Well, I think like a normal commercial dentist
A
wouldn't
a
cover that
dentist,
anyway.
Doctor, they don't have assistants, they would never meet that requirement.
Well, so that's the thing, I think the intent of it is you're doing it from your home, not actually, say, in a commercial space. So usually if you're doing it from home, you don't have 4 or 5 waiting rooms. It's usually your local
I know a dentist
GP.
I used to go to was on Common Street, and he'd have 3 assistants, whatever, plus him.
But that
That's
would be
out of the
under
house.
the business
That's out of the house,
section.
yeah.
That was out of his house.
It was out of his
Yeah,
house.
out of his house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be allowed now.
No.
but no,
Yeah,
This
and that,
is-
that line actually, probably wasn't taken, but I've been in other towns where that line is both that and the 4-person gathering at a time.
Mhm.
That's in a lot of towns. So the whole intent is like, and you have to show that
You
you
don't
have
wanna
parking.
You're not running a business already,
Yeah.
you're just running your little office.
Like if you drive down your street, you don't see 6 cars parked outside the house and people sitting waiting to go in.
Yeah.
No, you're looking like it's a business. You want them to be able to park on the lot, go
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
So, because the whole intent of these really is, okay, we'll let you run your business from your home. Just don't let it look like, because like signage wise, you can do a 1-foot square sign.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't put a big sign outside doctor in here.
Yeah.
Because it's the hint is like, again, because a lot of people, hairdressers, not that I need one anymore, but like hairdressers run from home. They
Yeah.
usually, like if you have a hairdresser, it's easier to run down your basement.
Mhm.
You're usually a small one-man or woman show.
Mhm.
If it's usually residential,
Yeah.
so that's why I think that is
Yeah.
the way it's written that way.
But that's, so you think we can
Tweak it a
move
bit.
a
We-
lot of
yeah.
this stuff to the regulations and out of the use table? That's what
I'll
you're
try to
thinking?
find a way to summarize as possible. I mean, I guess I'm trying to find where other examples kind of separate these. I think a lot I've seen kind of like combine them.
Mhm.
And I, like, again, that's kind of where do you combine it into the one definition of what home occupation is, lump it together and just allow it by right? Or do you wanna try to like add further special permit for something that could be more, I guess, intensive, which is like, you know, carpentry?
Yeah, I'd keep the special permit for things that you know would be a disturbance to your neighborhood, or would be something
Yeah.
snips, like say if you're, again, if you are doing carpentry making, like scale or sharpening, yeah, you got a grinding wheel go on.
Electrician, painter, plumber, you got a truck in the yard all the time.
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay,
Like
here's,
photographer,
alright, so they changed it right here, so home
Yeah.
occupation.
like if you only allowed 4 people there in your
Well,
living system.
In the old days, there's a lot of odors,
Yeah.
photographers, dark room.
So-
Now everything's
No.
digital, so
You
it
could do,
doesn't
yeah, you
much
could do it on your
anymore.
phone.
Alright, so in Westwood, so they list the home occupation, which is I think what we're thinking of, like the whole dentist or, you know, clergyman or whatever, and then the use by a residential builder, carpenter, painter, plumber, or other artisan for incidental work and storage in connection with their off-premise trade, subject to the conditions of
Yeah, that kind of fits
441.
with what we have.
Yeah, and the conditions are the same.
Mhm.
So, because I think, and even in ours, I mean, they're relatively the same, right? No outward appearance.
Yeah,
And obviously the signage and other elements.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
we could do it that way, and
Yeah,
that
the
way it's
signage
more of
would
a
become the
concise.
sign.
yeah, because we do get a lot of like people that register their business license from their home.
Mhm.
And that's part of what we put on the conditions is, because they're registering the business there, but they don't have a special permit to run the business there, so it's a good way of getting rid of your taxes. You register a room in your house as a carpenter, and you get to, as your office, and you get to write that off on your business.
Mhm.
But we usually put on, when we sign it for a business license, that no outward or storage of material on the property, and excuse me, we write a list. So they know, yeah, you're registering for tax reasons, but not having 57 ladders out there.
Alright,
Mhm. Yeah.
so.
Yeah, Westwood is nice and clean.
moving on, I know we got a few minutes left.
So on J3, down at the very bottom, it says, not more than 4 persons are gathered at one time
Yep.
for the purpose of being instructed.
So that.
So why
goes-
wouldn't that include, like, say, a dentist who would have somebody in the chair and somebody waiting, and a couple people waiting, right? That they could have more,
Well,
so, I mean, if we get rid of the instructed and just said, no more than 4 gathered at one time.
So the reason it's, and the reason I know this is because I came across it in my last town. Again, with the dentist, it's usually one person goes in, it's by appointment only. It's one person goes, you get the work done, you leave, someone else comes in. The reason for 4 people is if you're a music teacher, you're only allowed to have a class of 4 people in your house, and that's it. You can't have more. So it's locking out if you're teaching class, or you're, again, if you're a teacher doing, say, tutorials, or doing special after-hour inspections.
I mean, a hairdresser could have more, I mean, you have one she's working on, 2 under the dryer and the,
Yeah, well, again, I think the whole intent of this is not to have a whole workshop going on down there. It's really a one-person show. So if
Right.
you're the hairdresser, you're dealing with one person. You might have a second one there at the most. You're not going to have 5, 6 people going at once.
right, so I understand that, so why don't we, just get rid of the, instructed?
Just saying, not more than 4 persons gathered at one time.
Yeah.
For that business.
Well, that
For
only
that,
has
for
to
that
do with
business
the
there.
use.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're in the residential area, and what's the difference if they're being instructed or they're,
Yeah,
they're getting worked on or something, you
Yeah.
know, it's,
That's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it creates a loophole for somebody to
right.
say, well, they're not being instructed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Alright. I'll put a note for that to remove and see if we can find a way to make that work. Lodging house, this is, I mean, I don't know, I'm fine with keeping this as is. I just threw this out there in my own thoughts where it's like, alright, I have business out in
Why would they
industrial.
possibly be allowed there, yeah?
Yeah, only because, I mean, it's a, you know, other than pre-existing non-conformings, we don't allow for residential use there right now, so, not saying don't allow it, but it makes more sense to let
Hotel
that be a
doesn't
special
fall under
permit.
that, fit under that, does it?
Hmm?
No, I think.
No,
Hotel doesn't
no.
fit under
No,
that.
a lodging house falls under,
Well, it says lodging house, but is there a separate listing here for hotels?
Yes. in the business
In the
district.
business district?
Yeah.
Okay, Oh, I'm sorry, we're still in residential.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing with the lodging house is, there's a crossover between residential homes and lodging houses, so if you own a home, you can rent up to 4 people as of right, you don't need it. If you go over 5, now that, you're not allowed to do it, so then you get 5, so that's why usually lodging houses are 4 people or more. But you could still rent to 4 people,
Jeez.
and go for a license if you want, because the crossover which gets tricky is it's you're allowed to rent up to 4 people of not the same kinship. They're not, so you could live in one, so I could have a 4-bedroom house, and this is where the health department help us out because we don't have any size on it, but you could live in one room with your wife and 3 kids.
Yeah,
John could have his room with his wife, Sarah could be in another room with her husband. Because you're not related, technically that's 4 individuals, so you have 6 people in your room, you 4 and you 5, that's more than 4 people, and that's where it gets crossed over sometimes, because then that's where the health department comes in. Their code under 105
So-
sanitary says the size of the room has to be so big for so many
Yeah.
people. So that's where, but the lodging house can go in residential.
So, I guess my only thought, Mike, was, and I don't know if this is being overly restrictive for the sake of being overly restrictive, but like, why is it allowed by right in those locations?
right,
Which are
does make sense.
primarily business locations, but then we have a special permit for a lodging house in a residential location where residential is typically would fit in more.
Because you're crossing over 2 laws. So you're crossing Mass General Law 121, which is lodging houses, with a residential law which says you can't rent to more than 4 people. But a lodging house, the reason it's allowed in LM and that, because it's not technically even though it says residential, it's not, it falls under the same category as a motel or a hotel, which are allowed in those districts as of right.
Okay.
So that's why it's allowed as of right in those areas, it's actually not.
But it's a habitable I mean, I get it, it's like, it can be short term, but people could stay there more longer term stays. It's not like you're going to a lodging home for like a weekend.
No, you're going there for the minimum of a month, has to be a lodging house.
Yeah.
And when so the real difference between a lodging house kind of and a hotel is, so hotel, motel and lodging house differ on the length of time you can stay.
Yeah.
So like you can only stay, you can't live in a hotel for say 6 months, that's actually illegal.
Okay.
You can only stay there for 90 days and then you can move on. A motel allows you to stay longer,
Mhm.
and in a lodging house, you can either rent from month to month,
Yeah.
or you can rent for a year or 2 years. The only slight difference in lodging house is you have a communal kitchen,
Yeah.
and bless you.
Thank you.
And it also falls under the same category as hotels and motels, where they have to do a 110 inspection.
You got 11%.
Alright.
I know I'm not the brightest bulb, but what is a table board?
What does it say?
I thought the same thing.
Table board. Good idea. Furnishing of a table
Oh, good.
board?
I feel good now.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
I was almost afraid to
Come on,
ask.
man, you know what table boards are?
That's
I don't want
a
to.
table, I
Food
think
at the
it's,
table,
the
right.
idea is it's a table laid out with food for access for during the day. or something.
Furnishings of table, not a table board, so that's properly structured. But, lodging houses, the letting rooms, or the furnishing of table, board in a dwelling.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
Table
like,
and board,
yeah,
is that
table
like
and
a?
board, room and board?
Room and
Yeah.
board?
It almost seems like a food spread or something.
Yeah,
it's-
Because you have to, with a lodging house, you have to have a common kitchen, you have to have a common area, because you can't have cooking in your room. It's, well, yeah, unless the town allows it. Lodging houses do allow you to have separate cooking under state law. We don't allow in this town. So there's a tweak between them.
But it says the letting of rooms or the furnishing of a table board, so.
A table board is like room and board, but without the room. You're
Excuse
all-
me, say it
You're
again?
all in the same room.
Oh, are they?
That's what Webster says.
So it's kind of like
Thank you.
a hostel almost.
Yeah, basically.
We have room for another person at the table.
I'd love to join the committee.
So, we
This is
can
my
keep-
small flock of poultry again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something too, these are things that, I mean, I think, LM and N are accessory. Can be moved to like an accessory table, but that, regardless,
Yeah,
do we wanna keep going, or do we want to,
How much is left in this
Schedule.
section?
we haven't started business
Business
yet.
to go.
We haven't started business yet.
computer's dying, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't have to.
But we should probably change the language of table board.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that it's actually
21st century.
understandable. Yeah,
Room and board.
the provision of daily meals.
Hmm, yeah.
Separate- Yeah, weird. Yeah, let's fix that.
Okay. So where, I get, sorry,
We're at a good spot to break, probably.
yeah, good spot to break.
Yeah, because we're right at the bottom. Like, if you want to, we can get through, we've just a list, like 6, 7 more to get through the 5, the residential,
Yeah.
and then next time.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Well, I think-
well, we pretty much did it. Is there a few more things?
Well, there's a few more things, so, I mean, like, there's,
Yeah.
Keeping the chickens, the garage.
Oh, yeah, well, that, I think you're
Is
right,
good.
and the accessory use
Yeah.
would cover
Oh,
that.
yeah,
better,
it's
The
just-
garage in American, which was just redone,
Mhm.
the trailer one, I always find that one funny, because it's contradiction.
Don't we need to fix the trail one, technically?
Was only fixed the trailer on RVs, the part I always thought was odd,
Yeah.
was it says the garage and maintaining of a trailer, semi-trailer, more than 15 feet in length is allowed in residential.
Mm.
So your trailer has to be over 15 feet in length. What if you have a little leaf trailer? That's technically illegal. I always found that funny. You can put a flatbed in a residential neighbourhood
That's crazy.
that's 40 foot long as of right, but you can't have your little trailer that draws your lawnmower on it. That would be technically we don't enforce it, and I'm not intentional, but
Yeah,
this
that's
is
weird,
written.
yeah.
So, the 12-foot Lions trailer I have in my yard is legal, that's good?
if it's a 12 foot, no. It's
No, I thought you said 15.
It has to be
It's
15
gotta
or
be
more. So it says, more than 15.
Yeah.
You
Get
need
some
well done-
plywood and just,
well done and tailgate.
Around
Yeah,
12 feet.
yeah, you
Not
need
good.
more than 15.
Oh, more than 15.
So that's where I found that one, that was always weird.
Yeah.
When we're
Don't worry, we're gonna fix it.
So, we
Okay.
just,
Well, it's
Well, I think they're just,
what do you want, just remove
It's a
that
non-profit,
phrase?
so it-
Well, I'd pick a size and say less than, because right now, unless I'm
More
reading,
than, well, what's,
if you want to read it, the way I'm reading that, and I think I'm reading it right,
Yeah.
it won't be the first time I'm wrong, it says that you're allowed a trailer in all the zones,
yeah,
if it's more than 15 foot long.
if you meet the other conditions there,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
that's true.
Provided they are stored only
And Jim,
Yeah.
this
When the
is
side or
different
rear
than the
yards of the
RV
property-
one that we just,
and shall.
the RV
approach
one got
the-
changed, it was
Oh,
mixed
yeah,
in
we
with the
changed
RV.
that recently.
Yeah, they changed the RV one, because RV was like, you could only have an RV in your property for 1 month of the year.
yeah. Where is that in the zoning? Do you remember?
That's right, that same section.
Oh, that is, okay.
Yeah, but it was a mixture of two, it's a trailer, and then the RV was added to it, the rewrite.
So maybe we
Do we
just
go-
need to reference RV in there too, maybe.
And we also technically need to change this to more.
Well, it says including home trailer, motor home, or recreational trailer, which is an RV.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's
So, yeah, so that's in there. No, I'm just saying, just to annoy everybody as usual. I always found it funny that it says you can have a trailer to Ed's point, he's a 12-foot trailer. Technically, he's not allowed to have it.
No,
Our zoning.
this,
I didn't hear
But,
anything.
but I could have a 40-foot flatbed trailer, which is not residential. I'd say go the other way. You're allowed a trailer up to
We'll
20
find out-
feet or
we'll find out
something.
Yeah.
What's the size of a typical RV? I mean, I don't know, I don't expect you to know, but
Well, no,
I think
that-
we just
Could
make.
be 40 feet,
Technically.
right?
Okay, come on, Jimmy.
Or RVs,
Yeah,
they could be, they're monsters. Some-
40. or-
But see, I'm not worried about the RV because the RV got its own allowance there. This is just for a trailer. Is that a flatbed trailer, a leaf trailer?
Mhm.
It could be a work trailer.
Yeah.
If it's
You're
under,
right,
if it's under 15 feet, you're
it'd be
not
better to
allowed.
set a top amount
And go
and
back.
go back.
Because right now I could pull in there with, you've probably seen those dual wheel pickup trucks with that move
The fifth
bulldozers.
Yeah,
And they've
okay.
got, there could be 40, 50 foot long. That's allowed as a right, according to this. But a
No,
10,
no, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but your 12-foot trailer, you're getting
Let's look
fined.
at a way to reword that.
Like, do we word to, what do we get a length, like what's a nice length, say maximum 20, trailers are allowed up to 20 feet
Yeah.
or 25 feet.
I think
That's
the
it.
main thing was the provisions we put in there, not closer to 5 feet and.
That was for the RV.
Rear
Yeah.
yards, to keep it out of sight in the front.
Yeah, but the trailer length, because if you look under chapter 9, section 1, trailers are a litany of things, so I could have my boat on my trailer. I could have just a lawnmower on the trailer, or I could have a bulldozer on it. The bulldozer is the one that I'm allowed to keep, because that trailer is a bit over 15 feet, but my lawnmower is the one I can't keep, which is kind of odd for a residential.
Yeah, so we'll find a number that works and have it as a maximum, so.
Yeah.
But then
No
keep
more
RV outside of it.
RV stays the way, yeah, because RV
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah,
Because that was it, because that's the thing is,
that was what brought it forward, I think.
was a gentleman, his neighbour was filing complaints against him,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's what he brought it
You
forward.
were there with us, yeah. I remember.
And
We should-
honestly,
we should-
a lot of people have RVs around town.
So,
we should have it
This
almost
was
up
within a year or
to,
so, wasn't it?
Mhm.
we should almost up to so many feet, right?
Yeah,
That's
maximum
what
of,
it's- yeah.
say, 20, 25 feet.
yes, I'm losing battery, but that's all I have really for this section. The other portions, like a lot of this could be, like, again, that's fine, just add that to an accessory use table, same for accessory dwelling unit. These things I won't touch right now until you touch 10.
Yeah.
It's the whole residential care
Yeah.
control stuff.
That'd be best, I don't think we looked at those sections.
Yeah. And business, like I said, we'll call it,
Make me stop eating.
alright.
Your laptop.
What are the average, like, motorhomes, like the trailers, what are the?
This, like the street, the kind of, we call them caravans that you tow behind a car or an SUV.
Yeah, but even the ones, like the C-Class, it's the van with the, it's all one piece there.
Well, so I'm not worried about the RVs because they're already in there.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm, so think of,
Oh,
I'd be more looking at, say, as a plumber, that if you have a work trailer that you pull behind.
Yeah.
So like what a regular carpenter would have on site, those twin wheel trailers, they're probably about 19, 20 feet long. They're usually parked outside your house, so,
That's even
Right.
long, I mean, the
Yeah.
12 is pretty good size, you know, so.
yeah, so
Alright.
that's the kind of
But,
way, but. it doesn't-
So,
Perfect.
obviously, we did not finish, and I don't want to totally leave that out, but I think it would be helpful if maybe I take some of these edits and start to kind of organize what it would look like, so it's just, you can see the visual. I won't touch business and wholesale yet, but I can work on the other stuff, and that's my only thing, I need to see like a draft article, or this how it would be formatted.
Okay.
Timing wise, obviously, we're getting into the end of October, we still got a month, maybe plus, until the opening of the warrant, woo-hoo. Do we wanna think about scheduling a time in November to kind of like, at that point, I mean, I emailed town council, I wanna try to get a meeting with her too, so I can have her get eyes on it. And Jim and I also spoke to Carl regarding the earth removal. That would be, I guess, my thought is to get as close as possible in terms of what a draft would look like, and then also, it'd be good to have, like I mentioned, public outreach at some point, or at least to try to present
Yeah,
something. I had set out that the link, and the 19th was a date that worked. Does it make more sense to push it back into early December, or do we wanna kind of think, cause I know the week after the 19th, I'm not gonna touch, that's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I think that week's good, cause if we push it too far out,
Yep,
now we're getting close to warrant article, now we're kind of rushing stuff, cause like you saw tonight, that, just that section on the multi-family,
yeah,
swallowed it, that's gonna be a prickly one. I think that one we need a good discussion on, that, so I think if we can get it around, as you said, around the 19th or something before Thanksgiving, and then we can have one in December, I think.
yeah, I mean, the thing
We're talking
is.
about for a meeting or for a public engagement?
Public forum.
Oh, public forum?
Oh, you're talking about a meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, meeting definitely,
Oh,
definitely
sorry.
before December, the meeting, yeah.
It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, the meeting, I mean, I pretty good in terms of November, obviously the first week of November.
I'm actually pretty free for November.
Yeah. First week's probably no-go, but the second week of the 10th, maybe that Tuesday, the 11th, or.
The second.
That's
That's
Veterans Day. That's why you have it
Yeah,
open.
November 2nd is our next one for planning, I think.
November 6th.
Six.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so 6th,
and we gotta do something for Kate
yeah.
Delaney.
I think.
For what?
She's retiring.
No way.
Yeah, she is.
That's
The last day is the
kind of
31st.
fucked. I hadn't heard, she hadn't
Really?
mentioned anything. I don't
No.
know.
November 31st.
October.
October.
31st.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
How did I not
Kate-
know
Kate
this?
Delaney is retiring.
Delaney.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, is she?
So how are you doing something for her in November? You're gonna ask her to come back?
Well,
Bring
that's when
something
the
to
next
her.
meeting is,
She's-
we have to do something next.
So she won't be there at the next
Yeah,
meeting.
we'll have to do something else.
Make sure I know about that, would you, John?
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, can you tell me
How
too?
about,
Should I stop there and see?
yeah. 12th,
13th.
13th,
What day is that?
that's a Thursday.
Thursday.
That works for me.
Yeah,
What is it?
November 13th.
13th.
13
that
is
would be
okay.
after
A
the.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And same time work?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. 6:30. All right. So.
So do you want to do like do you want to focus on the multifamily or go into the business side of it, or what do you want to do you think? For homework, give them homework.
Oh, homework? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I would say the business side, only because,
Get through it and then get a punch list.
take a look still at the remaining section, the remaining sections of,
4 and 5,
4 and
whatever.
5. And then for the business thing, I can get some of the, because we already had some of the work
Yeah.
already. I can have kind of that information.
And then there's a worksheet to
Yeah.
say, okay, perfect. Alright,
So in the interim, yeah, I mean, obviously take a look at anything, if anything comes up, just because obviously open meeting law, email me directly. It might be easier just to kind of like, you know, from a time standpoint, I don't wanna, you know, just wait the one day, but, any questions, concerns, things that come up, feel free to send them to me, and then I can incorporate them into, that next document.
Do you think you'll have the, like, the earth removal section for next time draft,
hope
or
so.
no?
I mean, we
trying to, we've,
I think what we got from that was kind of a good, I mean, we walked away from our first meeting with kind of 4 main points, and I think, not to rewrite the entire thing soup to nuts, but really just to improve those areas that were.
yeah,
Too loosey-goosey.
because one is too, it's too open end on one side, and then on the other side,
Yeah,
that
super
one foot was
restrictive.
just,
Yeah.
it made no sense that you're punishing people.
Yeah.
I swear, if you were smart enough, you could sidestep it all and do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get, a middle ground that
Mhm.
helps residential people and small things,
Mhm.
and where major developments, then it does
More
trigger it.
sections, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So,
So that'd be good.
so we'll
Yeah.
try, we'll work, was it?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, we'll try to get the other sections done, of 5 as well.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, hopefully at that point, what the goal would be is,
We'll have more
what
time
we
to
can
look
get
at the stuff
done.
you just sent out, too.
What was that?
We'll have more time to look at the stuff you just sent out.
Yeah, and after that, after we meet in November, hopefully kind of provide it to town council, and then we'll take, then now we have time of December and beginning of January to make sure we get everything kind of tuned up more so. And in terms of the public forum, I could try to schedule something for the 19th, that works for me. I know that now makes it, is that the same week, the next week?
The following.
Oh, jeez. Could do that, or I could do the first or second week in December.
That might make it easier to recruit people. So kind of-
That's where I was kind of, yeah, because I mean, right now it's, so,
You need to catch them between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, so that would give
Yeah.
some time.
that might work. Yeah, so I'm gonna plan the second week of December in my head, and then kind of get you guys some dates and times. Because I'd like to go to the library.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so let's take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.